I'm on to you now. Like that would have triggered me like at the beginning of the show, but I'm on to you now.
Right? So stand up and teach the real politics of like, hey, look, the whole thing's rigged. There's Democrats and Republicans. They're all lying to you, right? You could teach kids all this stuff and save us 20 years of learning.
I like that idea. I like your idea a lot, actually. Random lottery of 4 people, and you pick the best of those 4.
Yeah, we just solved all of America's problems.
Yeah.
Kinda.
There we go.
Kinda.
Within 5 years, how likely on a scale of 0 to 100 do you think we would hit a civil war?
I say 5. I think it's pretty low. I think that the real powers won't ever let it happen. I don't think that people want that kind of instability. I don't think your average person wants that kind of instability. I don't think that the extremely wealthy want that instability. The government doesn't want that instability.
Hello, family and friends. Welcome to another Talks with Lemonade. This is available to the billions around the world on YouTube in 4K and audio streaming services like Pandora, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. If you like this content, please subscribe, like, comment, and share. And now onto the podcast. All right, where do we want to start? What's the biggest political issue that we think is...
Let's find a landmine and jump on it.
Yeah, let's find a landmine.
Oh, wow.
All right, how about this? I'm going to start with...
Do you know that Super Mario jump where he does a backflip and lands his butt on something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm imagining right now is let's find the hottest button ticket and do the Mario butt jump on it.
Okay, so as I try to find some landmines for the Mario butt jump, let's go. Brandon is a possible topic that the Mighty Pong brought up.
Save that for after the first 10 minutes.
Okay.
I have a lot of swearing.
There's going to need to be some F-bombs in that one. But I mean, if we want to jump into, something that, if we want to jump on the landmine,
Yeah.
why not go to number, what was that? Number 4, I guess it is. The alt-right is actually correct.
Okay.
Until they aren't.
What are they correct about?
Well, okay.
What is the one point? They should be allowed to have guns.
They should or should not?
Should.
How many?
How many guns should each person have? I think once you have more than one gun, it kind of doesn't matter because you can't operate 12 guns at a time, right?
I'm on board with that.
Is there a rule of how many guns a person can own? Yeah, is it dangerous is there a public safety issue with one guy owning 100 guns?
Well, it's kind of funny because I'm actually... Oh, okay, no, I guess we are the other way around. Okay. I was expecting to be on the left of you, but then I was like, wait, hold on. Did he just lap me? Hold on. But because
I thought you just changed your position.
No, I definitely didn't. I would say the number is 3 that you should own. Here's the idea. Pistol, rifle, shotgun.
What if I just want 3 rifles, though?
Why?
They're
all doing the same thing.
What if
freedom?
What if I have an 8,000 square foot home and I need a gun in different sections of the house?
Oh, because you're rich.
I'm rich. I got a big plot of land, man.
Well, all right, if we're going to jump that far into it, maybe you should make sure that that your neighbors aren't so poor that they'll resort to theft.
Yeah.
Well, so you could keep them all locked up, right?
Mm-hmm.
You still have to be responsible. You have to be 10 times as responsible if you have 10 times as many guns.
I'm actually not sure where Mighty Pong was going with this.
I've never thought about this question, like how many guns a person should
I'm waiting
own.
for him to throw a different landmine where we weren't expecting this to
trap.
go.
Well, so
It's a trap.
where I'm going with that is if you need it for home defense, then shotgun, that's what you need.
Yeah.
If you're walking the streets at night and you need to protect yourself, okay, handgun, sure, whatever, fine. If you are actually hunting, then yeah, a rifle. You don't need if it takes you more than 5 shots to get it, then you're a crap shot, and I'm sorry, that's the law of the jungle. You're not gonna hit the deer.
Bullets are expensive, man. I can't afford to practice.
Right? so that's kind of where I'm at. Like, do you need a 200 round clip to hunt game? No. That's Those are designed for one thing and one thing only. And yes, can you kill someone with a knife too? Yes, but not nearly as many.
Yeah,
So I mean, I don't think at Mandalay Bay, I don't think the guy could have thrown a bunch of Ginsu knives out of the freaking window and killed, what was it, 40 people?
Why you gotta bring up such hurtful stuff, man?
Sorry.
We're in Vegas.
You want to tap dance on landmines? Let's roll.
Well, yeah, so I've never thought about that question in terms of how many guns a person should be allowed to own. I have thought of it recently as, should you allow somebody to have a bazooka? The answer is no, because he might hurt other people, right? So guns are deadly. So you say in America, yes, you can have a handgun, but it's weird where we draw the line. You can't have automatic machine guns in the U.S., but you can have an assault rifle style weapon. So it is weird to me that where the line is, but I hadn't thought of how many.
So I'm kind of on the fence because, and this is true, the first assault rifle ban, do you know who passed it?
California.
Who?
I don't know. I was just talking out my ass.
Reagan.
Schwarzenegger?
Why?
Oh, Reagan?
No, Joseph is right. Why?
Because black people started arming themselves and patrolling their neighborhoods.
Black Panthers.
Yep.
Yeah. So as a person who is mad at Pelosi for different reasons than those on the right, as a person that is pretty solidly on the left, and I've been pushed more and more that way in the past few years, the means of productions aren't going to seize themselves.
Means of production aren't going to seize.
What do you mean by that?
If we're going to, what I mean by that is if we're going to seize the means of production, right?
You're starting to sound like a communist right now.
Oh no. Anyway, no, not a communist. So when you say communist, though, what do you mean?
I think that's literally communism is seizing the means of production and then distributing them equally.
Whom seizing the means of production?
Do you mean philosophically in the communist ethos
what
or
person?
in practice?
What person?
Oh, yeah. I wasn't planning on that.
Or no. Sorry. What group of people? What is it?
Right now it's just the rich people that are seizing everything.
You're not wrong. But,
Well,
but if we're going to take it from them, who do we give it to?
Yeah, in the American
The
context,
workers.
yeah.
Okay. So what you're describing, just said workers, and workers seizing the means of production. That is socialism.
Okay, yeah.
In socialism, the workers control what the company is going to do. In communism, the government controls what the companies are going to do. So in other words, the government can come to them and say, you're not going to make sneakers anymore. We need boots. You're going to make boots now. Right?
Yeah.
That's communism. Socialism is, we're the workers and we decide that we're going to work, 4 10-hour days instead of, 8-hour days. And, if we...
Oh, I thought those millennials. Sorry.
God bless them. God bless them. Man, I ain't got...
Wait.
I don't
So
have any problem. Okay, well, I don't want to get sidetracked.
Wait, no,
we'll
but
come back to millennials, though.
no, but what's the answer to how many guns should an American be allowed to have?
Oh, sorry. Okay, well,
say 3?
so I would say a max of 3. That's my max. Now, if you want to say, we can disarm the police and disarm the citizenry for the most part at the same time, maybe. I don't really like all the power being on one side.
What's the goal of your limit? What are we trying to prevent?
The goal of the limit is if you've got a whole ton, if you got a guy with a buried school bus full of all the things, right? Full of rifles and shotguns and this, that, and the other thing, right? And by the way, you're probably going to get demonetized just for the topic of a conversation. Forget saying the F word. But
we're already not monetized.
Oh, then great. Then you're doing great. Okay.
We're already not making money on this activity.
Oh, excellent. All right, good. So,
if any gun companies want to sponsor us right now, we are ready to move the limit to 12,000 guns per person.
There you go. No, the point of limiting it is, like people always give Chicago a hard time. Oh my God, they've got so many guns there. They've got anti-gun laws, but they've got so many guns. Blah 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 blah. But what no one talks about is the fact that Gary, Indiana, is right over the river. They don't have very strong gun laws there. So someone can come over, buy a gun, go over to Chicago and sell it person to person. That's a legal transaction, and and there is how the guns get there.
Oh, could I
So-
do that legally?
Can you do that legally?
Yeah, can I
Bring a
just
gun across?
can I sell
You
guns?
buy a gun legally. You get it registered in your name, and then you take it over somewhere and sell it.
No, yeah, like can I do that instead of a job? Just drive back and forth between Gary and Chicago?
I mean, I'm sure you could.
Yeah. It's
I
harder
mean,
in the
I'm
winter.
sure the people who are already doing it would have something to say about that.
The gun runners would have problems with that.
I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know
Okay.
if there's gun runners. But no, and so where I'm going with this is there really should be less on the streets. Like it should be like it should be a lot rarer. Like I've always said, the first time that I'm going to own a gun, I'll pick it up off the ground
I think
because there's
so
no reason for me to own one.
no, but we're in Nevada, and I know good dudes that are just into guns, and they like them, and
Yeah.
they're fun, and take them out in the desert and shoot shit.
That's
And
different.
And it's how they want to spend their money. And I could see that guy responsibly having 9 guns, because this one shoots a different round, and this one's kind of a long range gun. That's fun, and this one's got a scope on it. This one it shoots these fat buffalo rounds, so that's fun. I think there's something American about the freedom to own guns.
There is something American about it. You're right there.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean it's good.
Yes.
There's something American about our prison system too.
I can tell you what's really
Right,
good
right.
about the most armed populace in all of human history
Oh, please tell me.
is that the government will never control us completely.
Oh,
That if you piss off the populace enough, you cannot, because there are other countries where the government has all the guns, right? And the poor people can't do anything because the guys with the guns have the power. But you'll never have that power in the U.S. because the population is armed to the fucking teeth.
right.
You cannot impose something against the overall American will, because there are so many guns that literally the citizenry is so righteous and entitled and obnoxious that they will pick up guns and fight, right?
You do remember what happened about a year ago in D.C., right?
Yeah, that was a bunch of knuckleheads.
Those are the ones with the guns.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
who's the president now?
Yeah. But
So
but what-
I mean,
No, but what I'm saying is you couldn't have a police force, lock up American people, because American people have more guns than the police, right?
they don't need to lock them up. Why
But
would you lock them up?
I'm
Then
talking
you just
about the
gotta take care of
majority.
'em.
I'm talking about the majority of people. You cannot overthrow the majority of people when they're all armed, right?
Why would you need to?
No, that's my point. Is that the benefit of us all being armed is that the government doesn't have that final control.
I see what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
What you're saying, if I'm understanding this right,
Yeah.
is that the government can't tell us what to do because we have guns and we can
Fight
say,
back,
I'm gonna-
at least.
we can fight back.
Yes.
Okay. That's what you're saying.
There are
I
other countries
disagree.
where the governments have all the guns
Sure.
and the people are unarmed and much more helpless.
Okay. But we're already there.
We're helpless.
Well, I don't want to say helpless. Okay, so you can get involved in the system, and here I go, selling electoralism. But okay, sure, you can go and try to push things that way, and it is a tough climb. It's a hard slog, and you have to make incremental change. And there have been gains, especially here in Nevada, over the past 4 years to do that. But to your point,
to control.
No. Good things, making having the people in control of even the Democratic Party. But
okay.
But let me come back to that. Let's definitely come back to it because it is important. But we'll come back to it. What I'm going with this is, if they want something done, okay. So I want to say it's like 60 to 70% of people, and that's including Republicans, want single payer health care, where you don't where basically it's like the fire department. You don't pay a fire department bill. When your house is on fire, they come out and put your house out.
Right.
It'd be the same thing, only with the hospital, right? You don't pay you don't pay your health insurance bill. You just go to the damn doctor. That's the way it works in every other industrialized country other than ours, but somehow we can't figure it out. Sure. But everybody wants it. At least the majority of the people want it, but we don't have it. Okay? So they don't need to do anything that would involve guns, is my point. That's where I'm going with this.
Oh,
One of my biggest fears during the 4 years of Trump, one of my biggest fears actually was not the border, was not even coronavirus. But my biggest fear, honestly, was single-payer health care, Trump style. Because what would have happened was Trump would have brought people health care. The same thing that Democrats had denied them for years and years and years and years and years. He would have brought it to them along with fascism.
Yeah. Well, okay. So you're saying
it would have been.
You're saying our system is already corrupt and pushes things on us that we don't want.
All systems are corrupt. No, what I'm trying to get at here is the guns aren't going to make a difference. They're really not. Like you look. We were talking about the Black Panthers earlier. One of the 2 times that a local law enforcement dropped a bomb on people was Juneteenth, number 1, back in outside of, where was it? Oklahoma. It was Tulsa, Oklahoma,
Tulsa,
I think it was.
Yeah.
Tulsa, Oklahoma, and in Philadelphia with the Weather Underground.
I don't
They
know. the
literally
history on
dropped a
those.
bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in the 80s. The sheriff of the town literally dropped a bomb on the Weather Underground. They were protesting. I don't actually remember what they were protesting, but they were, protesters, and they were, hard left, and they literally dropped a bomb on a house in Philadelphia, kids inside. So, like, if you get to a point where you're overarmed and they want to do a thing, it's going to happen that way. You have to do these things through the legal means, is what I'm saying. I'm not advocating violence at all. What I'm saying is the violence doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, no. What I'm saying is, if everybody's got guns, yeah. If that bad thing happens,
Mm-hmm.
well, so that, I mean, there's race involved in there. What I'm talking about is the general populace. If you started bombing the general populace into submission, the American populace has enough guns to fight back and shoot up the sheriffs and shoot all the helicopters out of the sky, right?
But they're not going to. Okay, first of all, let's take shooting the helicopters out of the sky.
Yeah, they're
Let's
flimsy.
look at the
Man.
logistics
It wouldn't
of
take
that. What's
much of a
that?
gun. They're flimsy. It wouldn't take much
Yeah,
to
oh,
knock
yeah.
a helicopter down.
Sure. On to where? Where's the helicopter going to land?
Yeah, on the dirt out here in Nevada.
But if you're in a residential area and you take a helicopter down, it's going into a residential area.
Yeah, I know. We're talking about a really off the wall,
We are, but
dystopian
I'm
scenario.
just trying to play it all the way through.
Yeah.
Because it seems like everybody has this weird thing with guns in this country where they think that it's going to be okay, the okay corral. If it comes to the point where citizens are actually arming up, I had no idea this was going to be about guns. But if it comes to the point to the extent where there's going to be an armed insurrection, the person that takes you out is going to push a button. There's going to be a missile that hits your house. He's going to sip a cup of coffee and go home and kiss his wife and kids goodnight. That's it. He's not going to know anything about you. We have the drones. They have that. They have the infrastructure in place. You're done, son. Keep your guns. That's why you can keep them. If they actually mattered, you wouldn't be able to keep them.
Yeah,
They don't matter.
the sheriff and the police out here don't have those kind of weapons. The National Guard and the military, I will give credit to the U.S. that the military does a very good job of staying separate historically.
Historically. Yeah, well, that is a concern.
Yeah.
In this last one, there seemed to be a little bit back on the 6th. There seemed to be a little bit of not so separate. There was what was it? One of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Keep me honest on that one, Joseph, if you're familiar with the story. But it was one of the Joint Chiefs of Staffs or retired generals or whatever is very concerned about the Army actually rising up and taking part in a coup if this comes around again.
Yeah.
So,
Well, yeah, that would be civil war, right?
And well, I think a lot of what you're saying too, I mean, it kind of comes down to that too, is whoever has the support of the military will win, whether that's the people or a fascist government. Because like Pong was saying, I mean, they have missiles that they can shoot from 3 miles away and shoot it up your urethra. I mean, your AR-15 isn't going to do anything against that. My local police force in this town of 100,000 people, they have tanks. They have fucking tanks, literal tanks. Assault tanks. They could literally bust into your house and fucking shoot you through their little slots in their fucking tank.
Yeah.
And it's
Oh
just,
no, he's got an AR-15.
yeah, exactly. It's like, oh yeah, exactly. Oh no. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what. Are you guys saying that because the military has such incredible power that the U.S. citizenry should not have 10 guns?
That's not what I said.
saying, yeah, no,
Well,
that's
no,
not
I'm
what
trying to
saying.
understand the implications. What are we driving towards?
What my point is that your argument, well, I'm not trying to put it like that, but the argument that having having guns makes us somehow freer, it doesn't.
Yeah, because even a police force with a tank,
Mm-hmm.
even a National Guard with a remote controlled drone bomb could not take out the city of Las Vegas. We have 2 million people here and probably 5 million guns.
Okay.
So
if
you pissed off enough Las Vegans,
right,
what do you do against an army of 1 million armed, pissed off people? Like a tank is going to knock out as many people until it gets shot up. So in San Diego, there was a guy that stole a tank, right? He rampaged around until they got to the tank and shot him.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean,
But
okay.
I think that tank he stuck himself on a center divide, I think.
Yeah, and they
he
opened up the
high-centered
hatch and
himself.
shot the shit out of him. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so looking at the Las Vegas population by age.
Yeah.
Here we go. We're wargaming now. Okay, so I think it's safe to say that we don't really want child warriors, right? So let's make the cutoff at about 14 years old. All right? I think that's probably safe.
If I was
You wanna
worried
go
about
down
the
to
government
10?
coming after me, yeah.
Go down to 10.
Africa shows that 10-year-olds with AK-47s are fairly effective. You point them in the right direction, tell them who to shoot.
Give them drugs too. That's what they do.
Plus, American children are all raised on battle simulation games. You'd have highly
gonna
effective
be-
squads of children ninjaing
You
the
just
shit
got
out
And
of
then they would call you the N-word after they killed you.
Yes.
You're just doing this to mess with me.
No, I'm serious. We literally
You're doing
have
this to me.
generations.
Okay, all right. We'll play it through. All right.
They're
So,
spending
okay,
40
we're
hours a week on Battlefield and Call of Duty and 1,000 other military games. PUBG, Tarkov.
My man, when they see their classmate's head get split open, it's going to be a whole different world.
Yes.
And that's where I'm going. But we'll come back to that in a second. Man, we're getting dark here. Damn it. All right. So first of all, if we're going to take off 0 to 9, okay,
Yes.
for the Emmett Army, that drops off 84,000 right off the jump. All right. I am 40. So, and I know that much older than me ain't gonna carry a damn thing. Okay, they're just gonna sit somewhere and be angry about things. So let's make the cutoff, the upper cutoff. What do you think? 60, 65? Or are we going all the way up to 80?
I'll give you 65.
You'll give me 65.
So
you are a just and merciful king.
So I've sold a lot of homes in Sun City, Summerlin.
Okay.
And they're older, more conservative dudes, and they all have guns, and they'd be happy to march out their door.
Yeah, they'll march out their door. Yeah, that's about all
they
they're
won't
gonna
last
do.
long. Yeah.
No.
They won't be effective for very long, but
All right, hold on. You're making me do math on TV. This is the worst. Okay, so 41 plus. Wait, where did I leave off? Okay, yeah, 37.
well, what's the
plus
point? You're gonna whittle it down to like
Hold on.
500,000.
Hold on. We're coming. We're getting there. Don't read ahead. 39 and another 39 for the 60 to 64s. That leaves. Wait, hold on. Did I just F this? Oh yeah, I F this all up. That's awesome.
87 million Nevadans.
Yeah. It was like no, it was the other way. It was like 3. Like hold on, wait a minute. 47 plus 41.
It's gonna be me and 2 retired guys.
Yeah, kinda, yeah.
Pong.
82,
For the record, I actually don't even own any guns.
39. All right.
I'm just
leaves
philosophically.
Yeah,
in
no, it's all
principle.
good.
Like
Okay,
I
so-
literally have never owned a gun.
Yeah, same. So the population total is 466. If we're talking, are we talking Las Vegas specifically, or do I need to go drill down the page to find the metro area?
No, you're fine.
Okay, all right. We'll just
I
leave
will
it at
accept
that.
any number you want to give me right now because I don't
And
know what you're
you
doing.
can expand it however you like. Anywho, okay, so that is 466,000 people. Okay, now how many of those want to do it in the first place? Because there's going to be some people that are like, hey, listen, and this was my saving grace throughout the Trump administration, right? Is that capitalism will solve the problem. Okay, now that you're like, wait, how do you call yourself a leftist and say capitalism will solve the problem? Capitalism will keep the wheels turning. It won't solve the problem. It'll solve the problem enough to where we can go back to brunch.
I like brunch.
Well, most people do.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And they would really like to be able to sell you brunch.
I like food a lot better than Civil War.
Most people do. Most people, and that is my point.
Oh, yeah.
Most people, most of that 466,000, they're not going to go pick up a freaking gun. They're going to do whatever gets them back to brunch the fastest. And how do you think Germany happened? How do you think 1940s Germany happened? Do you think people were like, oh yeah, I really want to sign up to put people in those things and turn the heater on? I'm trying to dance around that. Do you really think that people were like, hell no? Yeah, no, none of that, please. But no one wants that, right? So this big group of people, these people were under the impression that their democracy was whatever, going under and whatever, and they're the exact demographic of people that have the guns, and they're going to go to the Capitol, and what happened?
Yeah, monkey business.
Well, yeah. There was no, even the organization that was there. What are you going to do? What, you're going to kidnap Mike Pence and do what?
No, I'm not.
I'm not
suggesting
pointing
overthrow of the government. I'm saying self-defense
against the government.
Yeah,
that's just overthrowing the government with more steps.
Yeah, I'm
because if the government says you're going to do the thing, and you're like, I'm not going to do the thing, and they're like, yes, you are, and you're like, no, I'm not. Congratulations.
Yeah, no, I'm not with a gun.
Yes, no, I'm not. Yep, with the gun, two guns, right?
Yeah.
That's over. That's you're breaking the law there.
I'm saying it gives you some last line of power. It
makes you crunchier.
Individual, yeah.
I will give that it makes you crunchier, which is why I had the 3-gun allotment. Because that's enough to make you crunchy. That's enough to make them have to do something. That's enough to make them have to make the same decisions that you're asking that 466,000 to make.
I think 10's a more American number.
10 is a more American number. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
You think only 10,000 would do it?
No, I'm saying 10 guns per person.
Oh, 10 guns. Why? Why?
Because I enjoy guns. Look, you can have a regular shotgun that is a pump action. You can have a semi-automatic shotgun where you don't have to pump it. You could have a shotgun with a cool barrel thing that feeds them in a barrel. It's because I like guns, right? I want more guns because I like them. It's like saying you can only have 2 vehicles. You can have 2 automobiles because nobody should have more than 2 automobiles.
Let's take that for example. Let's say I do like off-roading. Well, I did before the world exploded. Now I don't even want to go outside. But let's say I like off-roading. But every so often, you never know where, any 4x4 vehicle will spontaneously explode and kill 5 people.
I mean,
because that's kind of what's happening with guns. Because you got a gun that stays safe in your house, or so you think, and then your kid gets bullied and he takes it to school and shoots some people.
Yeah,
that happens it happens so much. I can't even remember what city the last one took place in.
Okay, so I think what you're really advocating for then is more gun safety and more gun control, because we have these terrible side effects of mentally imbalanced individuals shooting up other people. There is a public safety danger.
There is a public safety danger, but we're not handling. I hate calling it the, that it's a mental imbalance, right? Or that they're mentally ill or mentally damaged or whatever.
Yeah, normal people want to go to brunch.
But you're not wrong. I think that I think a lot of what I have the issue with there is that. I'm trying to think of how to exactly to put it.
Back me up here, Liem.
I'm not backing up anyone yet.
You're staying out of this?
You're like
you wanted the landmines.
Yeah, you got. Well, I mean, hey, you wanted the landmines. We're already we're wargaming Las Vegas, so I mean.
My mind's been thinking on the next topic. I wanted to talk about potential civil war, but let's finish the guns things, then we'll jump to that.
Oh, okay. Oh man, I can't wait.
That's easy transition right there.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. The question was how many guns, or wait, what? I lost it. What was the question? I don't want to run away from you. I meant
No. I don't think we're too far off. We're saying that they're. Oh, I was calling a public safety issue, and you're saying you don't want them to
public
be.
safety.
It's not just crazy people shooting up schools.
Right. We have to take care of the material conditions underneath. What? Oh, sorry.
No, I'm just.
Oh, okay.
I'm reeling at my own statement.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, we definitely don't want that. What we do want, though, is if we handle the underlying issues, right? If we handle things like poverty, if we handle things like homelessness, the underlying mental issues are not going to be as much a thing. This is why I said I had a little bit of faith in capitalism, which I guess makes me a little less left than I thought I was. But because when it gets down to it, when it looked like things were just about to tip, capitalism was like, okay, on second thought, maybe a little less capitalism. Let's go ahead and give people some money here so that they can keep this thing rolling. And it worked.
Are you talking about stimulus
I lost
checks?
Huh?
Are you talking about stimmy checks?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what kept me in this house.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I got laid off. I had known it was coming for 2 years, but I got laid off in 2019, right? And like I said, they told me this in 2017. They were like, hey, in 2 years we're gonna lay you off, but we'll give you a big pile of money at the end, so chill out. And I was like, I can do that. I like money. So I left my job at the end of 2019, and then the world exploded.
Was this a green bar printer company?
No.
Okay.
It's one you know the name of, but it's not that. And
I'm just wondering how they knew 2 years in advance and were able to keep you around.
Because they were doing a cloud migration project.
Ah.
Yeah, and so in 2 years we're gonna totally be in the cloud. They were not in the cloud, but we're gonna totally be in the cloud.
It took them
and
too
it's
long
totally gonna
to
be cheaper, and it was definitely not cheaper.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah. So, but yeah, so they did that, and it was a great program, huge success, and other hand gestures. But anyway, so the so I knew that was gonna happen, and so I was just like, all right, I'll find a job here in March. I had a buddy of mine it's like, yeah, we'd love to bring you on board. Everything was groovy, and you know what happened at the end of February? The world exploded, and
wait, March of 2020 was the worst time to try to get a new job.
Well, of course, yeah.
Okay.
I had it lined up from like January. Yeah, we're gonna get you in for an interview. Just do this and say that and blah blah blah. February, yeah, we can totally do it. I think. I don't know. This COVID thing looks like it's getting pretty bad. And the beginning of March, like, nope. Yep. Oh man, it was a good job too. Damn it. Anyway, but yeah, I ended up in a much better place, so I'm good now. Anyway, but if it weren't for that, the time it took, I wasn't able to find a job in this, and I was looking because I do not care to be, just sitting at home all day. But it took me until, I want to say June. No, it was later than that. It was like September before I finally found something, and so it took a long time to find a job. Because like you're saying, that was the worst possible time to be looking.
Yeah.
And the people that had one were getting laid off. And so, and this is the thing that bugs me, and this kind of goes back to the alt-right is right until they aren't, is that when you look at how each of the presidents did, and I want to make sure that I stress, under no circumstances, if you are wearing a red hat, I am not your fucking friend. Sorry, are we out of the first 10 minutes? We are. Okay. All right, good.
You sound like you're about to.
I am. And that's why I'm putting all these fence posts around this, because this is a very, very contained.
Mighty Pong does not suck Trump's dick.
No, I don't. No.
I agree.
From what I understand, it's like a King Koopa sort of affair. But anyway, all right. No, Koopa Trooper. Yeah. So anyway, that's what Stormy Daniels said. I don't know. I'm just saying. Okay. No, but when you look at how they treated people that didn't have a job versus once the Democrats came in and they were like, okay, we got to stop all this mess, right? We got to rein these back because people who are wealthy might get some money too. Like, that is one thing I did like. I said something about Yang. I don't remember exactly what I said last time I was on. That is one thing that I do like him for, is the UBI. I do like that because he's right on that.
Also, Yang has a bigger wang than Trump. Science.
Man, you talk about landmines. You realize what you're setting me up for there. That's no. but anyway, my point being here that the when you look at how the two treated the American population, one of them took care of the material needs on the ground, and the other did not. Well, the other did, but they kind of like had to by inertia, and I think that is horribly unfortunate that they did that because, again, like I said, my biggest fear was that Trump would give us, a crap sandwich. He'd be like, here's single payer health care, but inside of it, we're gonna put immigrants to work in camps, or something.
I'm trying to understand what you're saying. So you're saying COVID hits us in March of 2020.
Yeah.
This is the end of the Trump administration, and that
Yes.
You're giving credit to the presidential administration for issuing stimulus checks. And
Wait, he was still president while it was. Yeah, he was still president while it was. Yeah, he was definitely still president during his last year of administration. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
okay. I mean, was that a Trump thing, or was it a Congress thing, or was it a U.S. Treasury thing, or is that?
Well,
do we want to ascribe all power to a president, or do we want to say that a president is a figurehead of a very large machine?
It depends on the president. I think the past 5 years has showed us that it depends on the president, because here's a great example. Trump gets in, he's just doing judges left and right and center, and he's setting up all the Supreme Court justices that he can get his little tiny fingers on.
No left
and
judges.
he's getting to work, right? He's setting all that up. And the difference between the two, right? Meanwhile, you look at Joe Biden. We're a year deep, and the guy that dismantled the postal system, was it Louis DeJoy? He's still there, isn't he? Did he finally just get tired and leave?
I don't know.
Because he should have been fired day one.
Oh yeah.
When Trump came in, he cleaned house of anything that even sounded like Obama. So I mean, like.
So you're saying you want a strong authoritarian figurehead?
Yeah. I mean, what I really wanted was Bernie. That's what I really wanted. I really, really, really wanted Bernie, because he was exactly right. Now in any other country, right? You got to understand. Like, we see him and we're like, oh my God, he's socialist. He's blah blah blah. No, he's not. He's not even a full blown socialist. It's like Captain America. Okay, now hold on. I'm not saying that Bernie Sanders is Captain America. Okay, but it's like Captain America in that if you watch the Captain America movies, especially Civil War, Captain America
Transition.
No, we're coming back to Bernie.
Sorry.
Captain America is subversive just because he actually is what America says it is. Right? Captain America believes that we should be free, right? That we should have freedom, that we shouldn't have to answer to the government, blah, 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 right? That we should fight for the little guy, we should stand up to bullies, we should blah, 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 right? Okay? But doing that put him at odds with the government. Mm-hmm. So I look at Bernie as that. I look at him as doing for real what America says it will do, right? America has this land of opportunity vibe, but that's not really what it is. People say that, oh, we live under a capitalist system. No, we don't. Not really. It's capitalism they privatize the gains and they socialize the losses, right? So a company goes under, they're like, oh man, I didn't make any money. Oh, well, oops. I'm going to write this all off my taxes.
Wasn't the very first bailout after the COVID pandemic lockdown, wasn't the very first bailout directly to Wall Street?
Oh, now I don't remember. I don't remember.
I think there was
it wouldn't surprise me if it was.
I think there was a gigantic bill passed immediately after COVID struck the U.S. to save Wall Street first.
That sounds right.
Yes.
I don't know that that's the case, but it definitely sounds right.
I want to say something like I thought I remember between 65 to 80% of that was it 2 trillion was towards Wall Street, or towards big companies, corporations, Wall Street.
Yeah,
It was
big money.
yeah, that's right. It was the same bill, but it was 65% of it, like you're saying.
No, but I
went
think
to
there was
Wall
a bill before even the stimulus bill. Like the stimulus money that came to the American citizens, you could do the math on it and do the $1,200 times how many U.S. citizens got it, and it's some number way short of the total cost of the bill.
Not at all surprised.
And then you go, well, where's the rest of the fucking money? Where did the rest of the money go?
Well, a lot of it went towards. I believe a lot of it went towards stuff like what they call it warp speed or whatever to try to get the vaccine going. I thought some of it went to that. I thought some of it went to states to like
Yeah, but this
make
is
up for the loss.
This is what we as American citizens really suck at, is we never do an accounting for where the money went. I pay property taxes every year.
Yeah.
I think they're going to schools and fire departments and stuff. Couldn't tell you. I mean, doesn't make sense to me. We visited California. California, you pay, it's not 10 times as much property tax, but it's many multiples of more property tax. But California doesn't look better than Vegas. They don't have better roads. The roads were shit. So where's the California property tax money going? Because they have the highest property taxes and the highest priced property on earth. Like, you should add that number up and go, where'd all that money go?
Mm-hmm.
And so we suck at that as Americans, is accounting for where the taxes went.
So in California, there's something in California where I don't know if it's publicly. I don't think it's single payer yet. I think they're on the verge of that. And if you throw in single payer, that does kind of bring down the total amount that you're laying out significantly.
So California's have better health insurance?
Not yet. I think they do now, and I think that they're getting ready to do single payer. I think that's. I don't quote me on that. I don't know that 100%.
Okay.
But my understanding, I was reading something the other day that said that they are getting ready to do like a single payer program, or at least have a vote on it. We'll see.
Mr. Mighty Pong, I will believe that when I see it.
That they have single payer?
Yes, that they have good healthcare in California.
If it's going to be anywhere, it's going to be there first.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the only place that they would be able to get it passed.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I don't know. Hell, maybe it's Vermont for all I know. I don't know.
Live free or die. Oh, wait, it's New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Let's go around the table. Or do you guys want to switch topics?
Yeah, go for it.
Where do you guys think we sit with a potential civil war on a scale of 0 to 100?
Oh, how likely is the U.S. going to be in a civil war next year?
Yeah. So, let's go within 5 years. I think 5 years.
Oh, in 5 years?
Within 5 years, how likely on a scale of 0 to 100 do you think we would hit a civil war?
I say 5. I think it's pretty low. I think that the real powers won't ever let it happen. I don't think that people want that kind of instability. I don't think your average person wants that kind of instability. I don't think that the extremely wealthy want that instability. The government doesn't want that instability. I think that it would get shot down and you would just become some fringe, terrorist faction, or just how you'd be labeled, at least, before you ever actually started any kind of significant revolution or uprising or what. And I don't even know how people think a civil war would play out nowadays. I mean, with how interconnected everything is, between economics and infrastructure and this and that. And I honestly don't know what people would do. Like, so even if you got half the country to agree to, go to war with the other half of the country, what does that mean? Who are the enemies? You know what I mean? Like, what, you're just going to shoot up places where you think people you don't like are, you know what I mean? Like, what do you do? I mean, I honestly don't even understand how it could literally play out. I mean,
you have to see what color hat they're wearing.
Like, there's not even like blue states and red states. All states are purple. You know what I mean? The more rural you get, you tend to get more red. The more urban, it gets more blue. So, and then at that point they have different advantages too. I mean, no matter how well armed you are, I mean, how are you going to get fuel? What happens whenever they cut off your communications and your electricity? What happens whenever they jam your cell phone signals and you can't coordinate anymore? I mean, it's not like the old days. It's just, I don't see a realistic scenario where an actual war would occur. That's just my take on it.
I don't disagree with anything Joe just said.
I think I'm gonna throw in some random shit and onto that. I'll say 25% out of 100. My thoughts are from things like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, video, and misinformation that's easier to push onto people. So if some type of insurrection were to happen, it'd be some type of, I think, a group of people pushing an agenda that's able to convince many others. So I think the likelihood is low, but there's a possibility. It would. I think the idea of when Joe's talking about people, I think you were just saying people like their comfort in essence, meaning when the pandemic happened and when toilet papers were the first things off the shelves, I think that shows the mental state or the comfort level that everybody is striving for in a weird way.
Are you saying diabetes is a larger problem?
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Interesting. Huh. So that toilet paper thing, actually, that you just said, Liam, that kind of ties in actually to what Joe was saying, because
Ties it to kiss my ass. Sorry, I couldn't stop.
No, because people always think that it's because of people hoarding, right? But what the whole problem was, did I talk about this last time? I don't remember if I did.
I don't think so.
No? Okay. What the whole problem actually was with toilet paper was logistics, okay? In America, there are two different chains, different logistics chains that make toilet paper, right? There's the kind that make the Charmin and the Bounty and all the stuff that you have at home, and there's the chain that makes the really crappy thin stuff that most offices buy, right? So what happened? Well, all the offices are closed, everyone's going home, everyone's pooping at home. Mm-hmm. No one's pooping at the office. Mm-hmm. While there was a shortage of Charmin, there was gobs and gobs of whatever Pacific, whatever off-brand
Georgia
crappy
Pacific.
Toilet paper. Georgia Pacific, thank you.
Yeah.
Georgia Pacific toilet paper
It's
just
weird that I
stacked
know
to
that.
the freaking rafters. Yeah, why do you?
Single ply Georgia Pacific. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, the sandpaper stuff.
Yeah. No, that's real. Good God. Anyway, no, so that stuff was stacked to the rafters. In fact, Bell's Barbecue here in Las Vegas was giving out a roll of the commercial toilet paper with every order.
Yes.
For a while, because they what are they going to do with it? So that's what happened. It wasn't necessarily people hoarding just to have a stockpile of toilet paper. It was because they freaking needed it at home, and they didn't need it at work.
I would agree with you guys that life for most Americans is too good to consider something as crazy as Civil War. The person that's going to pick up a gun and run out there and shoot up in a big fight is the dumbest person, the most mentally unstable person, or the person that's got nothing left to lose.
I do agree with you. The only thing that I would add is if we take the the consensus of people that approve of what the government's doing, like people that approve of Biden right now, and people that did approve.
You bring up old shit.
I'm living in the past, I guess, but
I don't blame you.
Schwarzenegger will fix it all.
I feel like I don't know if it's social media that's causing these videos to pop up and news articles, but there's enough people unhappy. I don't know what that equates to. Is it 10% of the people are unhappy, or it seems like a lot more than just 10%. It feels like there's 40% of people unhappy. I don't have any statistical numbers on this. It just feels like a lot of Americans are unhappy, whether it be racism, whether it could be racist white people that hate black people, or black people think that white people have mistreated them, or whatever it could be.
But what I wonder is, are they really unhappy, or are they unhappy on the internet? Because when I walk around town, I meet a lot of people. I know a guy that watches Fox News all day long, and he owns an incredible house and new trucks and lots of guns, but he has too much to lose. He's sitting pretty right now. He could be angry as he wants, but would he lose all of that? I mean, look at me. Yeah. I'll be the first one to bitch about America, but I got a nice house. I got a cool truck. I don't have any guns, but I got all this food in my kitchen. My struggle is to not eat too much food. So would I'm nowhere near uncomfortable enough to go do something so rash. So I think Joe's estimate of a very small portion of the population, you're saying Civil War possibility at 5%. That seems a lot more likely because there's so few people that would throw away what we have now, right? If you love watching Netflix, if you love eating fast food from a drive-thru, all these things they're given to us every day very affordably. the things we want and can't reach are kind of big luxury things. Like people want housing affordability, but they don't want the little crappy houses from the 60s. They want these super mansions.
I watch these like short documentaries. I think they're like Vice News things where they go to like a Trump rally, or it doesn't even have to be not really political. There's these religious rallies. I forget the name of that religion. I don't want to say it wasn't Scientology.
Were they wearing white robes?
No. But it was basically some type of religion that you don't really hear of.
Yeah.
And these mass gatherings is like 200 people, 1,000 people, 5,000 people. And you're like, when you watch the videos, you're like, holy fuck. Like,
yeah.
Where do these people come from? Are they just hiding, or do they go to the office and I sit next to somebody working in a cube and they think that, but in an office, they never talk about it? Or is it just these internet videos that make it seem like there's thousands of them? I don't know.
There's a lot, but I don't think there is enough to make a difference. I don't think that there's enough to make a civil war possible. And in a way, it's almost unfortunate. I think if they came for a good war. No. Here's where I'm coming from. If they wanted to say, okay, we're gonna do the second Civil War, Civil War II, electric boogaloo, whatever. We're gonna do this again, right?
Did you mumble through electric boogaloo?
Maybe. That's on you now. No, but no, seriously though. If they came and said, we want to cut it off at the Mason-Dixon line, I'd be like, bet, bye, see you later. Yeah. Take it easy, keep it greasy. We'll find our oil somewhere else. It's okay, we got it. There's oil reserves, and I don't think that they're in the South. We're fine. Fort Knox has been empty for a long time anyway. We're fine. Oh no, we lost Florida. Oh no. You know what I'm saying? So maybe give all the city populations 30 days to get the F out, but after that, bye. You know what I mean? I'm tired of having the conversation. Let them, if they want to do it, if they want to go galt, have at it, Hoss. Go for it.
Are you saying if the South wants to secede? Is that what you're proposing?
Yeah. Bye. Bye now. I'll wave at them from the porch. Bye. Yeah, no, I don't. And see, that goes into my empathy depletion, but I did want to come back to the Civil War thing. But I don't think that there will be a civil war, and that goes back to my whole thing with guns. Is like the whole argument that you're going to take up guns against the government and shoot the local police officer. So much for your blue line flag. But if you're going to go do that, then there's not enough people that are that stupid to do that.
No, my argument was that you cannot perpetrate too much injustice on the populace. There's a point at which there's a point at which if I lost my house and my truck and all my rights and all my money, well then you'd taken everything from me, right? So a gun sounds pretty good.
Wait. So do you think that you would maybe be really angry with the rest of your community? Is that what you're thinking?
No, I'm saying who took all my goods.
Right. So the system has taken all your goods and you're ticked off about it. What are you gonna do? You're gonna get together, maybe have a parade, a demonstration, right? Let people know how angry you are.
Whoever I think is responsible, I'm gonna get that person.
Well, if it's the system,
well then I'm gonna get a couple of them.
Well, okay. Here's where let's back down from that just a couple of clicks. But one could say if one were a normal person and one were not of the get a Ryder truck outside the Oklahoma federal building variety, one could say that they would maybe form a parade or a protest, one might say.
No, and during protests are useless.
Are they?
Yeah, you know what happens when poor people protest? The rich people laugh from their towers. Like, you guys are in the park. Hey, you're blocking traffic. That's terrible.
Yeah. And so when that happened enough times, sometimes a Target or two got burned.
A Target store?
I'm talking about Minnesota, Minneapolis, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's unfair to
Derek
Target.
Derek Chauvin is going to jail for a long, long time.
But I like Target. I wouldn't burn a Target. Target gives me goods.
That's what's here. But if you had seen a Target as the thing that comes into your neighborhood and kills all the jobs,
I
Or
thought
the
people were
only-
just looting to grab stuff. Like, if you're looting to grab stuff, then that's different than attacking the thing which you think is the injustice. Like, if people were burning down police stations, that would actually make more sense to me if they're mad at the police.
They were.
Yeah.
They absolutely were.
Yeah, so that
no,
makes
they
sense
took
to me.
over one. I watched that live. That was amazing. I was like, man, oh, shit's getting real. But yeah, no, it's they are, and it actually worked. You can't deny that it didn't have some kind of an effect.
Yes, yes. Hopefully, our police forces are reforming and getting much better at what they do.
You know what they were started as, right?
No,
Police
I don't.
force
Police
in America.
Slave hunters.
Thank you. I'm glad someone else said it. 'Cause it seems like I'm saying a lot of those things today. But yeah, but yeah, no, they started out as basically the guys that went to capture slaves that had freed themselves and ran to other states, and that's where that came from. That's why.
It doesn't apply in Las Vegas.
Oh, it doesn't?
No,
We still
Las
have slavery
Vegas
right now in America.
No, we
You know
just
that,
have
right?
a metropolis police force called Metro, and they're to stop
Now,
criminals.
look, I'm not really saying anything that terrible about Las Vegas. Number one, I don't know. Number two, I haven't really seen them as being that terrible. But then again, I live in a neighborhood where I would never see that. So I don't know.
What if I
But-
own 10 guns, but I also buy a gun for a black guy?
So let me give you an example, though. In St. Louis, how many police unions are there?
I have no idea.
2. In the city of St. Louis, not St. Louis City and St. Louis County. There's 2.
In the city of St. Louis. Okay.
Guess what the second one's for?
Black cops.
Yes.
Okay.
That's real. There's a separate police union for black officers. So there is most certainly a very, very bad racial history that is very tightly tied in, especially in some areas more than others. I'll grant you that. But there is definitely a very, very tight thing between police officers and just straight up racism.
What does
And-
racism have to do with disarming the populace? I'm speaking as Americans.
We were talking about Civil War a second ago.
Oh, okay.
What does it have to do with you're that was like an hour ago, man.
Okay, so St. Louis is the enemy.
No.
Oh.
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
But what I am saying, though, is that the calls for things like disarming the police do make sense. The calls
Disarming the
for
police, how are they going to stop the criminals?
the same way they do in every other country. If there's a person that's bad enough to warrant getting shot, take the gun out of the freaking trunk. But don't go into it with a gun. If you run at every problem with a gun, your natural reaction is going to be to shoot, and that's literally what they're taught. They're literally taught to shoot. If you feel unsafe at all, it's better to be. What's the saying? It's better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6.
Yeah. No, I'm all for police reform and
Yeah.
better policing.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, is there any reason that a cop needs to respond to a shoplifting charge with a gun?
Because Americans are so fucking armed.
QED! I never get to use that in actual conversation, so thank you. All right. So, anyway, so I guess kind of coming back, the whole thing with the alt-right is correct until they aren't. The reason that they're alt-right is because they've been screwed and they know it. They can tell that they know that they've been screwed, but they don't understand exactly how. They know that the system is rigged. They know that's why do you think they lash out at like George Soros and they lash out at like the Clintons are a great example. Okay. Why would you lash out at Hillary Clinton? Well, back in the 90s, Bill Clinton was all like, well, yeah, we're getting rid of these jobs, but don't worry, you can learn to code. How are you going to take a guy that's been driving a truck for 50 years and be like, learn to code? You can't, that doesn't work. They didn't do anything for those people. They didn't take care of material conditions, okay?
Mhm.
They didn't keep these people in houses, right? They were just like, okay, well, we're moving on and whatever, bye, right? And so that's what breeds this. They realize that they're getting screwed. The problem is that they don't know enough. I don't know if it's they don't know enough or they're bad people. Some of them are bad people in the first place. I'm not trying to make excuses for them.
But
But what I am saying, though,
Who are you talking about? Are you talking about
I'm
disaffected, poor white people whose industries have evaporated?
not necessarily entirely white. If you look at every Trump rally, there's the Blacks for Trump right behind him.
So people who have lost their economic standing.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah. Yeah. That's their target. Their target audience is really interesting.
Coal miners.
Really, well, okay, yes, that too. Is the really poor and the really rich.
Yeah.
The really rich, they're just there for the tax cuts. And I don't mean really rich, like Elon Musk, yeah, of course, totally. But like, I'm talking like dentist rich. Not like rich, but dentist rich. But there's that side of it, but then there's also the people in the trailer park that are like, all I know is I was making a lot more money, 20 years ago than I am right now. And everybody at work and on the radio says that it's those dadgum, whatever ethnic group is over there's fault. It's their fault. But what blows my mind is they never take the next logical step. It's not like some guy comes up from Mexico and he says, hello, my name is Bob. I'd like a job, please, and steals the job. He doesn't steal the job. The boss goes, your name's Bob now, or whatever. Yeah, there you go. You got a job. You're an American. Sure. I saw your paperwork. Yeah, totally. Go on. And then that way they can pay them less. Because where are they going to go? Right? And so they realize they're getting screwed, but they're blaming the wrong person is where I'm going with this. They're blaming the dude that took the job that's just trying to provide for his family.
Are you talking about Republicans right now?
In general,
okay,
but also liberals. In general, yes, but there is a shocking amount of people that call themselves like Democrat or not left, but like they call themselves a Democrat that are like, well, we can't just let everybody in. That's literally what we used to do. Being a stowaway and as recently as I want to say the 50s was a legitimate way to immigrate to the country. You could stow away on a ship and you come up to the border and like, hi, I was a stowaway on this ship. I would now like to enter and become a citizen. And they're like, yeah, okay, cool. What's your last name? I can't spell that. We're going to make your last name this. and there you go.
Yeah.
So I mean, and I don't have any problem with that. If you really wanted to fix, I'm totally going on tangent after tangent.
But I didn't even get your first point. I'm trying to follow the thread here, man. What are we?
The thread is that the alt-right that the right
okay.
is correct until they're not. Right? They're correct that they're getting screwed.
Yes.
But they're not to blame these guys. Right? They shouldn't blame the guy that actually has the job. They should blame the guy that gave them the job.
Yeah. It's definitely not Mexicans' fault.
No, of course not. That's ridiculous. Just like it wasn't the Irish's fault or whoever else you want to blame back in the olden days, right?
I mean, so that's an old political strategy is to blame the immigrants and blame the others, right? So, but I would submit to you that the minute that you start playing politics, you've already lost because it's a two-party game. And the minute you pick a side, you're playing their game, and the whole thing is rigged from the top down. That everybody in the bottom loses.
So the answer is to stop playing.
I don't vote.
Yeah.
Why not?
Because it doesn't care how much I love Bernie. Bernie's not changing anything right now.
You're saying like if a Bernie Sanders would have won that he'd be in the exact same position that Biden's in right now, where he has to kowtow to what Manchin and Sinema say?
Bernie could have never won because he wasn't playing along with the Democratic Party.
Oh, well, yeah. Sign me up. Yeah, I'll subscribe to your newsletter. Yeah. No, that's 100% right.
So
I mean,
you're never voting for the person. You're voting for the party. And both parties are broken. Both parties are corrupt. Both parties sell the laws to the rich. Both parties have lobbyists out their noses, right?
But the good news is that a lot of those people that are putting those things into effect are I'm walking a tightrope with this one. Hold on. Let me think of how I want to put this.
Being a Democrat doesn't help anybody.
That's true. Yes. Being a Democrat, just being a Democrat doesn't help anybody. But there is most certainly a difference between the two. Okay? You can't say there's no difference between the two. Because there is most certainly a difference between the two. If I had to go with Biden or 4 more years of Trump, Biden, fine. Give me Grandpa Joe, fine. Yeah. I'll
Also,
take it.
do you know why the Democratic Party selected Biden instead of Bernie?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because Bernie would have actually done something.
No, because they needed to get enough votes to defeat Trump. And
Oh my
the
God.
population that they had to go after was old-ass
No.
Americans that are sitting around retired. They are a
No.
huge voting bloc. And so that huge voting bloc would happily vote for Biden.
For Trump.
And
Oh,
then
for Biden. Then they
any old person that's kind of mad at Trump or can see that Trump didn't follow through with anything, they could easily switch to Biden and go, you know what, I gave Trump a chance. He didn't do what I wanted. I'll go to Biden. But Bernie is too far radical to get
But he's
enough
not.
votes.
He's on what is he too radical?
Yeah, as far as the way people see him, right? People see him as a radical leftist.
Why?
Right?
Who says that he's a radical leftist?
The voters, man. They voted.
The voters.
Yeah.
But see, the voters want. If you look at any poll on the issues, like single payer is pretty much the most hard left thing that you could probably pin on Bernie, right? Oh, he wants to give health care to everybody, even immigrants. Oh my God, whatever. Yeah, why wouldn't you? Because I think coronavirus has definitely shown us that not only is someone else being sick a danger to me and my family, right? It is very much in the public good for that to be taken care of. So I think that would probably be the most dramatic thing, because he's not talking about, maybe he's going to put guardrails on capitalism, but it's not like he's going to overthrow capitalism and kill all the landlords. Like that's not a Bernie's thing at all, right?
Right.
So we're not going full tanky on it, okay? But let's take that for example, right? The single payer healthcare, right? So like I said before, over 60% of Americans, including Republicans, want that. So how is that an unpopular thing? How is that too radical? Like when you say, I think that millionaires and billionaires should pay more in taxes.
Yeah.
Who says that's radical? Like show me the polling on that says they don't want that.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want that? The people on TV don't want that because they're the millionaires and billionaires.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. It's how they're painted. Yeah.
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 So if he would have been able to get out there and make that case, right? If he wouldn't have had, he was on track to win. That, right?
I would say this about Bernie. Bernie writes laws and tries to make changes that help the people.
He does.
That's not
And
what the Democratic Party's looking for.
There you go.
That's a
problem.
better way to put it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is the problem.
For both
and that's
Democratic
not what,
and the Republican, right?
The Republicans definitely don't like Bernie, but the Democrats also don't like Bernie.
Yeah. They also don't like him, and that's an interesting thing that you bring up there, Emmett, because they're both serving the same thing. It's the ratcheting effect, right?
Yeah,
the Republicans
They're serving the money.
Oh, of course they are.
Yeah.
But no, what happens is the Republicans run really far to the right, and then the Democrats won't let it go any further to the left.
I don't want to let what go any further.
Won't let
all
of this.
Okay.
Won't let laws go any more left. They won't allow any more single payer or anything like that. So all we got is more right. Oh, we need to be centrist, so we need to run more to the right. And then they go even crazier. Oh, we need to be more centrist, and so they run to the right. Before you know it, we've got Democrats saying that there should be no taxes on anything over $1 million. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So
speaking of healthcare, you know how there's people who refuse the vaccine? That seems to be a good idea.
Oh boy.
It's weird because you'll refuse the vaccine, but then the minute you have trouble breathing, you run to the emergency room.
Oh, but what's really fun
and clog up the emergency room, right? So you wouldn't listen to medical advice until you're about to die, and then you run and try to get some medical help from the same system. I think if you refuse the vaccine of your own foolishness, then you shouldn't be priority in the emergency room.
What's really fun is when they get in the emergency room and then they start telling the doctor what to do.
Yeah.
Or the family starts telling the doctor what to do.
Yeah.
Give him all the horse paste. He likes peach flavor.
Yeah. And then when it's finally too late, we'll just bring you on out to the back. We'll bring you out to a little shed, a little pile of hay there, and Granddad with a tear in his eye will load up his 12 gauge. And if you're gonna live like a horse, then there you go. No, seriously though, I'm totally joking. In Minecraft, in Minecraft. But what I'm saying though is, this leads into my loss of empathy. For the first year of this whole thing, I was fighting with people on Facebook to no end because I was like, no, I've got, they're wrong, but it's more than that. It's not just they're wrong about this political party or whatever. They're going to end up killing themselves. They're going to end up killing someone's grandmother. Blah blah blah. Right. And then my wife lost both of her grandparents to this thing. And then I'm like, I'm done. I'm done with it. Because, no matter how much, it wasn't just that. It was just the prolonged thing. I just eventually wore out. And the thing is, it's like, we tried. We tried for a year. At this point, my favorite expression on the subject right now is this. Everyone in America right now is working to lower the curve of the number of people as a percentage of the population in America that have COVID, right? The difference is some of us are working on the numerator and others are working on the denominator. And I love that the most because the very people that don't get it are the people who I'd rather not have the conversation with in the first fucking place. Because I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, so really what we're talking about is a general public safety hazard?
Yes,
right?
it is.
A virus
but it's a general public safety hazard to the people that can't just go get a freaking shot at Walmart.
Yeah.
Just go to Walmart, they'll do it for free.
So are you referencing that it appears that emergency rooms are full of unvaccinated people? That it's like 99% unvaccinated people that are having the worst time with this, right?
Yes.
If you're vaccinated, you still might get the latest variant, but you're much less likely to get killed by it.
I have had it at least once.
The COVID,
and I went to CES in 2020.
Yeah,
and I got sick as a dog right after. Like, it was bad. But and there wasn't a vaccine to have. I'm not entirely sure that we currently don't have the one that's out right now. But it's so easy, like, because my wife has just been feeling completely fatigued forever, and of course we obviously live together. So if she has it, I have it. As contagious as this thing is, and I've been, you can hear in my throat, it's not great.
Are you trying to disclaimer everything you're saying by saying you might be sick right now?
Oh, I'm most certainly. I'm not. That's not a disclaimer. No, actually, it's exactly the opposite. I'm not saying it's that to disclaim it. What I'm saying is that the symptoms are so mild because we've gotten vaccinated. This whole thing? It reminds me of the whole Y2K thing, right? I don't know. Do you guys remember Y2K?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
How big of a deal it was?
We're old enough. I don't know where you're going with this, but
where I'm going with this is there was all this money and all this stuff dropped that went in to keeping Y2K from becoming a thing, right? For anyone that is unaware of what Y2K was, there was a bug in computers that where when it reached a certain date,
for all you young
instead
people,
of going from, I imagine your demographics have that encompass that
for all the TikTok users before the year 2000.
I mean, you're not wrong. But no, seriously, there was a glitch in the way that they made computers. They weren't designed to go past the year 1999. They would just roll over to 00, right? And so then that would cause...
Well, the reason was because...
The reason
was because memory was so precious. Like the earliest computers...
Yeah.
Like we have so much memory on our cell phone. You have so much incredible memory and processing power. But the primitive computers, the earliest computers, didn't have a whole lot of memory.
A byte saved was a byte earned.
Yeah, so instead of writing out a full 4-digit year of 1993 or whatever, you would abbreviate to 93. And the problem was, we don't have a way to represent 2000, and we don't know what's going to happen to all of our computers that are running. What were they worried about? Like the air traffic control towers?
Everything. Even
everything.
Elevators.
Banking, a lot of banking.
Financial stuff would have been absolutely fucked.
Yeah, so the concern was that if all these dates get fucked up on the New Year's with the year 2000, if all these computers crashed, then all of this infrastructure would go haywire at the same moment, and then we'd have calamities and chaos.
Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Fun fact: this is actually going to happen again in the 30s.
The
what is that?
Yep.
2032 or something like that, is it?
Yeah, it's right around there because we decided to go to a 32-bit storage method, because computers don't know dates. They just know how many seconds have passed since an arbitrary date in 1970.
Oh, right.
And with 32 bits, you can only get 4 billion
Seconds.
unique values, and we'll
Yeah.
get to about 4 billion seconds around the 30s. So
Nice. Hopefully nobody's using a computer from that long ago.
yeah, yeah.
at
You'd
that
be
point.
surprised.
Yeah, I know.
You'd be, especially hospitals. There's hospitals that are still running Windows XP on some of their critical systems.
Dude, our nuclear submarines and aircraft carriers still run Windows XP and Windows Millennium and all this other crazy shit.
Not surprised.
Yeah.
Not surprised at all. I pray to God they're air gapped, because otherwise.
Yeah, I'd hope so.
But yeah, so that was my extremely dumbed down version of it. But you're exactly right. That was the problem. Anyway, my point was though that we put all this money into fixing the problem, and then when nothing happened, we said, oh well, see, we had nothing to worry about in the first place. That's not what happened. What happened is we fixed the effing problem.
I see your point. Yeah.
You see where I'm going with that, right?
Yeah.
So now we've got the vaccination, and the symptoms for these are real. For what I have and what my wife has are extremely mild relatively to freaking needing to be on a freaking ventilator, because we got the vaccine and the booster, right?
Yeah.
We did the thing, and I understand, and this actually does lead me back again to the whole alt-right is right until they're wrong, because when you take a place like West Virginia that's just been destroyed by this company called McKesson, who just dumped tons and tons and tons of fentanyl on the population. I mean, they were giving it out like it was freaking candy in this place, and just destroyed the population. Okay, so you see, you're a father who lost his kid to a fentanyl addiction, right? And then here comes a drug company that says, hey, you know what? We got just the thing for you. Like, I bet you do.
Yeah.
Right? I get they are right to be distrustful of them. So I get it. However, not on this.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I see where it comes from. Like, I can understand it, but not in this particular area. Right? And I'm not alone on the whole empathy fatigue. I have a friend of mine who's up in Detroit. He has his girlfriend, I believe it's girlfriend. We move forward. His girlfriend is a medical professional. I'll just put it like that, at a local hospital there, and she has reached the point where she has seen so much pain and just general ugliness that she's like, if you don't get vaccinated, I don't care. Like, I'm putting words in her mouth. I'm paraphrasing here, but like, it's just like she doesn't care. She can't care anymore. She's out of care. Like, she doesn't have any more, right? I mean, and that's, you see this shortage of medical professionals is some of it due to COVID, probably, but is some of it due to the fact that they just can't deal with this shit anymore? Yeah, absolutely. And so my point with all this is every one of those people that goes in and yells at their doctor that they're not giving their husband or wife or whatever ivermectin, and calling in some quack lawyer to come in and say, no, they have the right to try and all this crap. Like they're getting their medical advice from Facebook, and that's somehow better than what they're getting from an actual freaking doctor. Good. Try it out. Let's see what happens.
Yeah,
I don't care anymore.
It would be do whatever you want, except that it has the negative impact for everybody else, right?
Does it anymore?
Yeah, I mean, it's jamming up the emergency rooms where if you go in with a broken neck, then you still got to wait behind all these chumps that are in there unvaccinated.
But as soon as you say, now everybody's got to get vaccinated, then everybody comes out and makes the freedom argument.
No, what I'm saying is that there's negative impacts to not getting vaccinated.
Oh, very much so.
Also,
fortunately,
but also
they're going to hit.
We have a continuing population of millions that are incubating for variants, right? So if we could vaccinate everybody, we'd have a lot less of this variation problem.
100%.
Yeah.
But that's not going to happen, is it?
Definitely not going to happen. Nope.
No. So.
Well, so the weird thing is this current variant is very mild.
Thank God.
So does it, in effect, become kind of a herd immunity builder, or does it not?
I just heard on the radio today that scientists and doctors in, I think it's in Africa where Omicron supposedly started, So they're seeing the numbers of infected and hospitalizations hit a point where it's actually coming down. So they theorize this is potentially Africa's hitting the herd immunity.
Yeah.
So
God, I hope
Omicron. So yeah, that's the hope that we
It could be the weird best thing that could have happened.
correct. So far the data shows that it's real early. That just came out. I guess their research. So
Well, I mean, because the other horror scenario would be a variant that is this transmissible and is super deadly and super jacks people up. Then it scares everybody into going for vaccines, right? Because
Oh, that wouldn't happen.
you-
That wouldn't
so?
happen.
yeah,
That would not
yeah.
happen.
What-
No way.
wait,
As
are you being sarcastic or?
no, I'm being serious. I'm serious. I'm serious as a heart attack.
What-
It
what do
ain't
you
gonna
mean?
happen until it starts making people's dicks fall off. It ain't gonna happen. Like just boom, oh damn. It's like until that happens, you're not.
I'd be
going
lying to
see.
get more boosters if that happened.
There it is. Right. No, but until
You have
that
any
happens,
unused boosters around here? I'll take any flavor, any brand.
yeah.
you
Let's
got.
clean out the rest. Give me the leftovers out of that syringe. Don't throw that away.
They're gonna go bad, right?
Yeah.
Unrefrigerated.
Yeah. But no, until something like really bad like that starts happening, then and even then, some of these people are there were people that lined up in Dealey Plaza
Where?
to wait for in Dealey Plaza in Dallas, Texas,
Okay.
to await the return of John Kennedy.
JFK.
Hundreds of people waiting there, the QAnon people. They were waiting there for him to come back
Oh,
for
this is recently?
days.
Oh yeah.
This was
Yeah.
what, like
Yeah.
3 months ago, something like that?
Yeah, but there's still a small group of them still there
Of course there are.
They're holding a vigil.
because they just kept saying, "Oh no, he's gonna be at the Fleetwood Mac concert tonight. Oh no, he's gonna come. We misinterpreted the fucking signs we got out of the newspaper article. Whatever."
Oh, yeah.
There it is. Yeah.
Well, so-
so they've gone. They're off the reservation. I don't know about
No,
that.
but isn't that a
They're-
very isn't that a
they're
very
out to lunch.
small isn't that a very small part of the entire population?
Thank God, yes.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's always going to be some percentage of crackpots and just crazy or incapable people.
Yeah.
Like, especially if you have the power of the internet to reach millions. In a
Yes.
group of 1 million people, you'll find anything you want. Because 1 million
Yes.
is such a staggeringly large number
Right.
that you can find, 1,000 people with different colored eyeballs. Then, their left eye is different color than the right eye, right? You could find anything
Oh, yeah.
in a population of 1 million people. So once you can reach millions, I think you can collect up enough of the unfortunately that don't come to the same conclusion.
Right. Yeah. But the problem is though that what do those people end up causing? Right. Here's the example Joe knows probably better than I do. Polio came back because people stopped vaccinating. This is up in, I think it was like Washington. I think it was in your not like I'm blaming
Joe's
you for
fault.
everything.
It's your people.
Damn it. Talk to your people.
Shouldn't have eaten that fucking monkey.
You.
Is that all
Was
you
not
were doing
very
with the
good.
monkey?
It was too gamey.
Don't eat monkeys, kids. No, but polio was all but gone, and then people stopped vaccinating their kids because, well, we don't need to vaccinate our kids because polio's gone, and then polio came back.
Wait, shouldn't it be fine to eat a monkey if you cook it properly?
That's you, man.
Yeah, I can't attest to that. Possibly.
I think if you cook any animal properly, it should. If you can get it up to the 165 degrees of internal temperature for 15 seconds, you should be able to eat any animal, right? Safely. That's
I'm
what
not a
cooking.
foodologist. I don't know.
Sorry,
Go for yours, man.
I would think so.
I mean,
I have a lot of health department certifications.
It's probably all the preparations. If it's like not a wet market, if it's all prepped correctly and whatnot.
Yeah.
yeah, I wonder that. Wait a minute. So does that mean somebody was eating raw fish from the wet market?
Yeah, well, it tastes better raw.
It is really tasty. You're not wrong.
No,
Anyway,
that brings up a separate topic. I think
Okay.
the world should really put a lot of pressure on China to clean up wet markets if they haven't already. Like, hey, I don't care if it came from your wet market or came from your Wuhan lab. I don't care where. It definitely came from there. Clean up your wet markets because
oh, good. I was worried I was going to be the most problematic tonight. Good. All right.
no, like wet
Thank you
market.
for that.
We've established wet markets are a problem, right? Where did MERS come from?
You know what a wet market is, right?
Yeah, a big
Like-
slaughterhouse full of fucking animals that you buy so you can take them home to eat them.
which is literally the same thing as that fish place in San Francisco. So that is the same damn thing. They bring in the fish, they throw the fish at each other, and they catch them and they
So
sell them to people.
the health department is monitoring that market, right?
Okay.
Are all the fish on ice and stored properly? And so,
yeah, and the Chinese government absolutely should do that. I don't know that it's the world's place to tell them they need.
It
to
is
regulate
because it's
their
become a
local
world
food.
problem. It's the worst pandemic in human history.
But I would also throw in the.
Did America get fucked by coronavirus?
Well, did we get fucked by Trump? It's.
But
But I think it's the globalization more of an. It's a factor that's hard to pin the point on. As in, so we have airplanes that fly around, bring the food so quickly from a fishing boat, so you're globalizing everything, trade, people moving.
Yeah.
So is it really the wet market's fault or just a natural progression of having 8 billion people on a planet where we are so globally connected?
No, a wet market can spawn crazy viruses, and my local supermarket cannot.
That's not
I
true.
wouldn't go.
There are safer ways to handle food.
I could see that the statement there's safer ways to handle food, but
Storing pangolins on top of bat soup is a chemistry set that's designed to make viruses jump into humans and cause a crazy pandemic.
I would say that viruses and DNA and bacteria, all that is made to evolve in a certain way. So with 8 billion people on Earth and our globalization of everything, I think that is the soup, not the wet market itself.
So don't clean up wet markets.
No, there's going to be certain things in certain countries where poverty is available and things that can be fixed. But if in those areas, if that's the way that they live because of the financial opportunities they have, it's hard to say that, hey, you guys fucked up. I think that's a little bit wrong. I would say if China has,
We literally know it came from there.
no, I'm not saying that it didn't come from there.
Yeah.
I'm saying we need to also look at the financial situation that that city's in, and we can't, if we don't help them get better, we can't also point our finger at them too. So it's a delicate. So if you want to point the finger at that city, then we're looking at geopolitical things like China itself, the government now.
Yes, the Chinese government and the Chinese economy is a highly authoritarian, dictator-ish country that has plenty of money. They can clean up all their wet markets. We send a lot of money to China. They can clean up their wet markets.
Yeah, I think it's we're so connected at the hip. I think that if we want to pin problems on the government of China, we also maybe shouldn't buy so many things from China. I think it's a funky. We want to benefit on the backs of others, but as soon as that back or that person makes a problem, then we point the finger at them. It's
I would also like to buy less things from China.
yeah.
Damn, I didn't realize I agreed with you that much. Nice. I thought it was me over there for a second.
I think Amazon should have a made in the USA alternative section. Like whatever you're searching for, here's the cheap Chinese
Never
thing.
good.
Or if you want to spend $3 more, here's the American one.
Oh God, I wish they would.
That'd be kind of cool.
I really wish they would.
I mean, it's going to cost more.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there are things where, look, if it costs $50 more, well, fuck, I can't afford that. I would do it in principle. I can't. But right. But if these shoes or whatever, here's the alternative. It costs $8 more. Then a lot of people will make that choice, right?
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, if we're talking about that, I imagine we would also, the three of us and many Americans, I would imagine if you get to a point, just say, I'm just going to use an example. Say Nike somehow changes their sweatshops in other countries, and they're using sustainable materials, whatever. And we see them selling shoes on Amazon, and it's $30 more per shoe. But if we collectively or individually, if we like Nike that much, we're going to spend more. So I think that'd be a great thing if Amazon could do made in America, and then maybe a company profile, which we could, whatever. That's not necessary. That's something I'm thinking of beyond.
It's necessary. It's marketing.
Yeah. A company profile.
Company profile.
Like company profile. We know where their sustainable materials are coming from,
Oh,
or
yeah.
if they're using sweatshops or not, and
Yeah.
and things like that.
Yeah, I used to buy these jeans from I think it was literally called American Jean Company, and there used to be, they stopped doing this, and I don't really like the fact that they stopped doing it. But they used to have a code that you could enter in on their website, and it would tell you what cotton field the cotton for your jeans came from,
Oh,
and it was all U.S. based.
Oh wow,
Yeah, no, it was pretty cool.
something.
It's always back to slavery with you, isn't it?
It's always back to slavery with America, though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
That's where we came from. You know,
Yeah.
like,
Sorry,
I
what
mean,
were you gonna...
I went through Ancestry.com, kind of like
I'm black.
yeah. Oh, good. Oh, thank God. Okay. Because fortunately, my family they got out of Germany in the late 1800s, but they got here after slavery was a thing. So we got to America in that sweet spot out of Germany, just in time to miss all the really, So
Do you
none
have
of
any
my
ancestral
ancestors.
guilt?
No, I don't have any. Thank God that I'm aware of. Now, if one day someone comes to me and is like, who was it? There was somebody that was on one of those shows where they, go through your history and all that, and they were like, your father was a slave owner, and the guy, I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Anderson Cooper. Was like, well, he got what he got, but his great 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 grandfather owned a slave, and the slave actually killed him.
Oh, yeah.
And he was just like, I got what he got. Can't blame him.
All right, let's go around the table and everyone name what they think is the biggest political problem in America.
Who goes first?
Who's first?
Money in politics.
Monday?
Okay. Describe that. Go in depth a little bit more.
Well, you said
money
in politics.
Yeah, money.
Oh, yeah,
money
yeah.
in politics.
Okay. Yep.
I mean, in general, I mean, as has been brought up earlier, obviously the parties have different ideals overall, but at the end of the day, money is what really controls, all politics, and even indirectly. I'm not just talking about like super PACs and things like that. I'm talking about, kind of what we talked about earlier. Preventing civil war is also, can be a negative thing, which is where the establishment kind of controls what happens as a society, and the establishment being obviously, the elite, the super wealthy, the people that control money in general. I mean, you don't even have to be super wealthy, but if you control the flow of money, you automatically have an incredible amount of power and leverage over businesses, over private entities, over, the people, over public policy, all these things, like one example for that I noticed is, and I see this a lot more with people that tend to lean conservative, but I feel like over the last 40, 50 years, they have been conditioned to essentially be bootlickers for the ultra wealthy. You have people that make no money that will fight to the death to defend a billionaire not having to pay their fair share in taxes. And they're convinced. A lot of these people are literally convinced that the only reason anyone has a job, it's not because of supply and demand. It's not because the market needs people to fulfill a certain role. They're convinced that it's because other people have money, as if Bill Gates is personally putting up his own money to start a business just because he has money. Even though in reality, businesses, they get money from banks if they have an idea that's marketable, right? It's not even like they're spending their own money.
For our listening audience that can't see right now, Mighty Pong is agreeing with Joe so hard.
Oh,
man. See
that. my chair's about to break off. I'm agreeing so hard.
He's like headbanging like a Slayer concert.
I didn't want to get in the way. I didn't want to step on it. But I'm just like,
it was such beautiful gold.
But I think that is also what causes a lot of division. And I think it's one of the worst things to happen to our society is people being conditioned to believe that this is how it has to be. Otherwise, they won't have a livelihood. Otherwise, they won't have a life. Otherwise, their comfort is gone. And so essentially, these people have convinced people to work against their own interests, which is actually kind of impressive when you think about it. It's like some weird psyops bullshit. I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it's
Are you talking about Republicans right now?
Yeah, it tends to be conservatives. I mean, so I'll be honest. I actually one of my things I like to do is I like to troll a lot of conservative news website comment boards just to fuck with them. But some of the stuff I read is disturbing in that regard. Like these people are literally conditioned to believe that if you tax a billionaire more money, that their livelihood is somehow going to be threatened with their bullshit $50,000 a year job, working at the fucking, I don't know, wherever, the steel mill.
Right.
It's just crazy to me. I just don't understand it.
I kind of want to go around the table for what's the biggest political problem, and then we also then go around the table and have solutions on fixing each of our separate ideas of what we think the biggest problem is. So, Emmett, you want to go next with what you? Oh, Joe, I'm sorry. Are you done, or can I?
Yeah. No, I'm good.
Emmett, do you want to say what you think the biggest?
No, if we go clockwise, it's you next.
But to them, they're on Zoom.
That means nothing to me. Nothing.
We're all in a different order, though. So.
Yeah, definitely corruption at the top, and money is the corrupting influence. So you have lobbying is incredible by bribery by a different name. Campaign finance, campaign contributions, that's incredible bribery by a different name, right? The Electoral College appears to be an outdated, funky, weird system that is just being gamed. Why do a handful of swing states control the fate of the free world? Why
slavery?
Why are there these primary campaigns that focus on New Hampshire and Iowa? What the fuck is so important in Iowa and New Hampshire that is controlling the fate of our nation? That seems like a faulty, broken, flawed system, right? Why is gerrymandering allowed? We know what it is, and we have a name for it, and it's very visible on any map that gerrymandering is there. Why do we keep allowing it? Why do we keep voting for lawyers and politicians that lie to our faces? Why do we never vote for honest people? Why are we so stupid? So
Bernie 2020. Oh,
yeah. So these are all the myriad of problems that lead up to just a broken, terrible system that if you got money, you buy the laws and you rig the laws so that you make more money. And in the end, money is all that matters. It's your currency to buy the life that we live. It's the currency to buy your kids' education, right? So if we could have, well, that's the solution. I'll save education for the solution.
I'll go quickly and I'll jump over to Pong afterwards. My answer is education, and then I have a deeper solution for it. But I just think education as in K through 12 plus universities. I think there's a bit. I think.
Well, you guys state the problem first.
Education's
the problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
there should be no more education.
Get rid of it.
So what part of education is the problem? I guess is the question.
What was that?
What part of education is the problem?
I think that it's non-critical thinking, standardized testing, something just the average education level of the average American education level. I don't want to give away what I think to fix it. I don't want to give away a solution. So I think education from.
Wait, you say Americans are too stupid?
For what we have financially, our economy, I think we're too stupid to handle it all. So okay,
yeah.
So the Pong.
Interesting. So I mean,
what is the number one political problem?
The number one. So you're saying the number one problem is education? Okay,
that's my theory. That's my theory. So what do you think yours is?
I can hear the argument. So mine is pretty much obviously from my enthusiastic head bobbing earlier. My number one problem is exactly everything that Joe said. That is, in my opinion, more than any other problem that you've listed. Until we fix that problem, until we fix money in politics, in other words. It cannot be legal for anyone to give more than. I don't think it should be legal for anyone to give more than $100 to a candidate, right? Bernie's average donation was $27.
Wait, so you want Bernie to be 3 times as powerful?
Okay. Let us whisper of a dream. Yeah. I want him to be 10 times, man. That guy, like I saw him twice here in Vegas, and that dude, he's real. I was actually there the night that he had the heart attack. I was at that.
Oh, really?
Thing.
Wow.
He had the heart attack here in Vegas. Yeah.
You're starting to sound like a fanboy.
I mean, look, he's not the only honest person now, but he was definitely the first and definitely the loudest. and he's definitely been there for a long freaking time. Like, you know what I mean? And if you go back to stuff in the 1980s when he was just the mayor of Burlington, Vermont, right? He was saying the same stuff then that he's saying today.
Yep.
He's been legit for. There are pictures of him in black and white where a very young Bernie Sanders is being hauled out of, where was that? I think it was a college in Chicago, because he was in the middle of protesting segregated dorms.
Mm-hmm.
He's been down. You want to look up "down" from day one in the dictionary? That is Bernard Sanders. So
yeah, no,
I am a little bit.
I'm not actually anti-Bernie at all. I
don't think you are.
Yeah, I think he's so admirable in that he is trying to do good things for people. And he's speaking literally what he wants. He's speaking literally what he's trying to do. Mm-hmm. Whereas every other politician is double talking bullshit scam.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's something I actually heard from a lot of Republicans. You were saying that Republicans would never let him blah, 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 because they think he's too extreme, blah, blah, blah. But that is one of the things that I did hear a lot from Republicans, actually, was that they like that he's not full of shit.
Yeah.
Is what several different Republicans told me. They're like, I like that he's honest. I don't feel like he's lying to me at all. But, you got these other people, Schumer and Pelosi and blah, blah, blah. They're lying to me. This guy ain't.
But that's what's so intellectually offensive about Trump, is that anybody with half a brain should be able to see how full of shit he is.
But, okay. But he gives them, you're right.
Yes.
They should. And I think that they do. The reason that they don't care is because he gives them permission to hate who they've wanted to hate all along.
Yeah.
He's the antidote to a poison that doesn't really exist. Because these people have been told that, oh my God, they're gonna make us all woke, and they're gonna let guys in dresses into the men's room or into the ladies' room, or whichever one. I don't know.
And you're gonna take my guns away.
Yeah, and you're gonna take my guns away, and you're gonna do this, that, and the other thing, and it's just and so we need someone who's gonna fight against that. And then here comes Trump, and he is the strong and bold leader or whatever. And
okay, Mighty Pong is claiming Trump is the number one political problem.
No, well, we got to watch out this next election.
He's trying to come back. Yeah, he just did a rally.
He's trying to come back.
Yeah.
You think he's not done?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm running away with things again. I'm sorry.
So
the number one problem, money in politics.
So, let's solutions around the table for money in politics. What would be a good solution that could actually systematically work?
Into corporate financing of election. Well, actually, make all elections publicly financed.
Yep.
No more private financing of elections, because the rich, they should literally not be allowed to use their own money to campaign.
Yeah, so why does it take billions of dollars to win an election?
Great question.
Why do rich people spend so much money to get into a public service position?
There it is. The exact person that is able to win a presidential campaign is the exact person you don't want running the country.
Yeah.
Because they're able to marshal all the powers of capital and all the businesses, and they're thinking of businesses first and blah, blah, blah. And then you get that, and the businesses continuously shell out the cash. They continuously shell out the cash for strong Republicans and weak Democrats.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know enough about the private contributions. Does that include, just say what if Jeff Bezos,
yep.
If he sells some of his stocks, can he then contribute to, say he likes Trump? Is that private contributions, or I don't?
Doesn't matter.
That's
He
private.
a super PAC.
Today, are you saying today or in a perfect world?
Oh, I don't.
Jeff Bezos is today.
He could do it.
I'm actually just asking what is defined by private contributions. I don't know.
How does a billionaire give money to politicians?
So I guess I don't know if I'm playing devil's advocate on saying, if you're saying no, like corporations can't, they're not a private, they're not an individual entity that is
Well, so what I'm saying is, in a perfect world, if someone made me King Pong for
Okay.
a day, right?
King Pong.
King Pong.
King Pong.
You upgraded from Mighty Pong to King Pong. Okay.
Well, hey, it's good to be the king.
I
No,
think you're a little
it's
kooky, but I would totally vote for you for president right now.
neat. All right. I don't know. Probably not once all these tapes come out. So, I probably won't win. That's all right. No, seriously though, the who knows? But oh damn it. Oh yeah, if I ruled the world, what I would do is I would make it to where each candidate gets X amount of dollars. Let's say $250,000, right,
Woo.
for their marketing, right?
Yeah.
And they get X amount of time guaranteed on each station. Because you got to make up for that too, because that's one of the reasons that Trump won, was because every news station on the planet was covering him nonstop, and he got so much free marketing out of that. It's insane. Like if you look at the amount of time, especially in 2016, how much time he got versus how much time the other candidate won.
So really,
but anyway,
so are you really talking about campaign spending limits?
I'm talking about
Campaign
like,
spending
in a
cap?
perfect world, if I ruled the world,
Yeah.
there could be no private financing of elections. In other words,
Yeah.
the candidate himself or herself could not spend money.
Okay.
A company you and I could not donate money to them.
Yeah.
They would get they get 250 grand, they get TV time, we're done.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you cannot use your own money. Because what's happening now is if you've got a whole ton of money, then Bloomberg can go ahead and run and tell everybody not to drink the sodas. Well, how is that useful to have on the world stage? It's not.
Okay.
Right? You want people that have people behind them, right? You don't want people that have businesses behind them, because they're doing that because they're going to make money off of it. That's the only reason a business does anything.
All right, Joe, what would your solution be for money in politics?
Pretty similar to what Pong said. I've always thought that a public fund that both candidates have an equal share in would be a equitable way to do it. I will say, however, though, in real life, I and this is coming from me as like a former poker dealer, so I know it sounds weird, but you'll understand in a minute. Anytime you create a new rule, you're also creating new loopholes, even if you don't foresee them. And it becomes a whack-a-mole situation where no matter what you do, people will find a way to violate, or to not violate the letter of the law, but violate the spirit of that law. And the only way to fix that is to create more laws, which creates more opportunities. A good example of this is the US tax code. I mean, just look at that, right? No matter what you do to try to stop this or that, people find other creative ways around it by interpreting what you write literally, which is how laws are supposed to be interpreted. So I don't know if there's actually a practical solution to this. So like, let's say, for example, that there were no more campaign contributions allowed by businesses, individuals, anything, right? Well, there's nothing stopping from Jeff Bezos from hosting, not fundraisers, but I don't know what you want to call them, encouragement seminars or whatever,
Galas?
Galas, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Where you try to gather support. Or there's nothing stopping me from going out and spending my own money and making signs, for, Trump or Biden or whatever,
Pizza party.
Yeah. And, and it's just, the whole thing's absurd. And also, to answer your question, by the way, earlier about like why people that are so wealthy are able to get into politics. One thing that I think a lot of people don't know, and this is a super common hustle amongst all politicians, is they'll loan their own money to their campaign and collect interest on it from the campaign itself.
Yep.
So they make money just by campaigning. And even like actually right now, Ted Cruz is actually fighting in the Texas Supreme Court to get the cap on how much interest you can collect from loaning your own campaign lifted. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, and it's just one of those things where it's just like absurd, the whole thing. And I honestly don't know if there's a real solution. Unfortunately, as long as there's a power imbalance, which there is naturally in politics, these kind of things are just always going to be a problem. I mean, realistically, the most fair way to get elected or not elected, but to get representatives or president or whatever would be a random lottery. You're sitting there one day like, oh shit, I got to be senator for the next 4 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'd be the most fair way, really. I mean, unless you just don't want to, and you can be like, nah, I don't want to. I'm conscientious objector or whatever, you know. I mean, but obviously that's not realistic at all. I'm just saying that's the only completely fair way to really, you know, run a political system. Otherwise, it's just always going to be something. And, you know, I mean, I don't know.
Oh, I got an improvement. How about if we have 4 candidates pulled on a random lottery? That way you're not stuck with like a totally crazy person. You can always have the best out of 4 choices.
Oh.
I like that better.
And if you could do a jungle primary too.
What's a jungle primary?
A jungle primary is where you don't just vote for the first part, the person you want to win, but you vote for your second and third and maybe even fourth choices.
Oh yeah.
Is that like ranked choice or is that different?
It's ranked choice. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know the ranked choice term.
I like that idea. I like your idea a lot, actually. Random lottery of 4 people, and you pick the best of those 4.
Yeah, we just solved all of America's problems.
Yeah.
Kinda.
There we go.
Kinda.
Fuck yeah.
It's like a weird jury duty.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I think that would have, like, I could see that maybe do that for the House, maybe the current, I don't know about the current system for the Senate, maybe both. Shit. But that would actually go to help Liem's issue too. Because if at any moment, any random person could become a very powerful person in America, all of a sudden it's going to really matter that they go to school.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty good, you know, here's the baton. Like, what's your plan for
money and politics?
No, for fixing the schools.
Okay. So my
I think we need to give the children more guns.
yeah.
No? Oh, shit.
I think as life is getting more complicated, I think there's just too much things we have to consider. I think having the average American be smart enough to navigate through some of it would help. And then from a political standpoint, I think having education for hopefully once they get old enough and if college and university is paid for through some type of socialist system or whatever in America, I don't know. Just follow me on this path. So universities, colleges paid for. Yeah. Everyone gets a decent education. So hopefully that those people, when they vote, they will know about gerrymandering. They will hopefully know about campaign contributions. So hopefully they will make better choices. And therefore, when potentially when Andrew Yang and Bernie Sanders came up for a potential presidential run, hopefully there's more votes towards that. Now, I do agree with all the things you guys said earlier about it's all rigged, freaking paid, corporations paid to whoever's in power, Trump, Biden, they're helping the corporations and they're getting their kickbacks and whatnot. So
one is definitely worse, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So hopefully education would through time, hopefully even senators, say you get politicians, senators, people that have been educated, hopefully get into those positions and are better educated to not be greedy. Hopefully, I don't know if that's a good way to answer that.
A lot of politicians have law degrees, so it's not that they're not educated.
They know. They don't care. They know.
I don't know why we keep voting for lawyers. It's do you want a lawyer to do anything for you? Like, do you want him to? Do you want to hang out with your lawyer? Do you want?
I need a lawyer. I really need a lawyer.
Yeah, but I mean,
I need a good one.
Do you ever think a lawyer is a good guy, or what's our general impression of lawyers in the U.S.? Are they trustworthy, honest, helpful, charitable, loving, great people? We have a pretty negative impression of lawyers, but we keep voting for them as politicians.
I don't think we should vote for them as politicians.
But isn't it some staggering amount of politicians are lawyers?
Yes. Yeah.
But I think most Americans don't. Well, it's either rigged system or most Americans don't even consider that anyways.
Yeah. There's another thing I would bring up is you guys remember our social studies classes, our history classes? This is the class that teaches you how the American government works.
Yep.
And they give you this bullshit story about, there's a 3-part system with the executive branch, a judicial branch,
checks and balances.
Yeah, and this is how it all works. Oh, and we have a democratic system where people vote for the power of the government. It's all great and it's all fair, right? So
totally.
That's a bullshit story. It's taken us 20 years of adult life to go, hey, wait a minute. That's how it's set up, but that ain't how it runs.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
I think most people don't even get there. I think most Americans don't get there, meaning
Right.
to realize.
So that should be a total failure and a total indictment of every public educator that is promulgating this social studies book. You're feeding this bullshit to all our kids.
Some of them don't have a choice,
Doesn't
right?
matter,
A lot of them have. They
yeah,
have
like
to
you
teach
need that
to
money?
the test.
Like, when are we going to get fired as a teacher and go make more money somewhere else?
Isn't their funding? I don't even know. Doesn't their funding come? They
Controlled
have
by a state legislator who is implanted by the elected official?
to, yeah.
Yeah, so it's all a scam from the
Yeah.
top.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
teachers should have balls, and they should be the ones looking out for our kids and for the future of our country.
A lot
They're
of
not,
them
they're
do,
not
and a
doing
lot
it
of
for the
them-
money, right? So
Yeah.
stand up and teach the real politics of like, hey, look, the whole thing's fucking rigged. There's Democrats and Republicans. They're all lying to you, right? You could teach kids all this stuff and save us 20 years of learning.
What do you think is the amount of Americans that maybe the four of us seem to agree? I think that politics is fucked up in America.
But ask any reasonable adult you know. Would any of them say, "Oh no, it's a great system. It works. It's very honest"?
No, I don't.
I think the older generation the majority of the older generation that I know, they seem to think the political system is working.
He's onto that. No, he's onto something there. He's right, and I think that's how a lot of this BS is. BS. I don't know. Suddenly, I can't say bullshit. A lot of this bullshit has happened because of that. Because you got to think they grew up with Walter Cronkite, right? And they grew up with Dan Rather, right? And they didn't just sit there and tell lies to them, right? They were the trusted news person.
Yeah.
And to those people, Tucker Carlson looks the same way. They look at Tucker Carlson and old Dan Rather and be like, yes, both of these are at a desk. Both of these are telling me what happened. Both of these are the same thing. So when Tucker Carlson says that that these people are socialists and they're bad and blah 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 blah, I believe them because that's what the newsman said.
Yeah,
you
so
know?
we're talking about a boomer generation that is beginning to reach their expiration date.
Oh, and they're helping themselves along
Okay, so
with
can
the
we make those
vaccination.
changes
That
now?
goes back to my earlier
Can we go
point.
change our history books now?
So I'm guessing where you're getting at. So it's the majority of America, for whatever reason. Well, actually, you're not. Maybe you want to get at.
I speak for the people.
No. You want to know. We want to guess what the majority of Americans think about our political system. I actually don't think. I theorize that the majority is so comfortable with their life where they actually believe the political system works. I actually do.
No, I think they would all tell you it's rigged and it's corrupt.
Well, that's where I come from with the whole they're right until they're not.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same situation there. They say that the whole system is screwed up and it's corrupt and blah blah blah. But because this one team seems to be saying the thing that they like to hear, like
Yeah, you get
Oh,
tricked
I
into
wanna
picking a
return-
side.
what's that?
You get tricked into picking a side.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
I think there was an old movie. I think it was called Moonstruck or something. There's an old Cher movie, and it was some comedy about being in like a third world country, like an island nation or something. And it was this comical thing where the dictator would let you vote blue or red, and it was still a picture of him on either blue or red. And like you could, I don't remember the details. I'm probably fucking up all the details, but it was some old '80s movie that even back then, this movie was making fun of. Hey, look, you can pick, but go ahead and pick. You're gonna get the same shit no matter what you pick, right?
So when you say the majority of Americans is brainwashed into picking a side. No, they're not. The education system here doesn't educate them enough to know that when they pick a side, they've already lost.
They'll pick a team like a sports team. What's our voter turnout? It's less than 50%, right?
I think so.
That tells me that if you really thought the system was great and it worked and your vote counted, you would go out and vote, right? If you really thought it made a difference.
Okay, that's a good.
And that's one reason why I kind of recoiled earlier when you were talking about millennials. Is I feel like millennials get a really bad rap. Like they don't deserve the crap that they get. I mean, if you think about it, they grew up through two different financial collapses, 2008 and the most recent one with coronavirus. That's two
Yes.
financial just ruinations, right?
Yes,
On
I
top
agree
of
with
that, housing costs are going way the hell up. You're
Mhm.
aware of that.
Yes.
You know, you've got people that are from outside the country that are buying up properties left, right, and center. You know, and you've got, you know, and causing the prices to just escalate and escalate and escalate.
Mhm.
I'm glad we bought when we did, because our apartment, we were renting a house, and that was going up like, I think, $200 or $300 a year. We could have paid for it, but at that point we're like, why the hell would we? Let's just get a freaking house.
Right.
And so, but we had the money to be able to do that. Well, most people out there don't. You know, they just have to keep paying the damn landlord. Anyway, so like, you've got all these things that are hitting them, and still, you've got the most effed up politics in on the that we've seen in quite some time, at least as far as I'm aware. I don't know, but my point with this is they're not getting less involved. I'm a Gen Xer, right? We were just like, screw it, I'm out, whatever. I'll be over here if you need anything. I don't care about politics. I'll see you later, right? But they're getting involved, right? They're showing up. They're voting for AOC. They're voting for Ilhan Omar. They were voting for Bernie like crazy. Like, he won, like, I want to say 80% of the primary here in Nevada.
Yeah.
Bernie just clobbered Nevada. Like just killed it. He was on his way to winning. If they wouldn't have done him dirty like that, with everyone other than Elizabeth Warren and Joe Biden dropping out right before the big Super Tuesday, if they wouldn't have done that, I think it would have been a whole different ball game. But anyway.
So to answer your,
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Were you? Go ahead. If you weren't.
Yeah. No. Go ahead. I was on a tangent. Go ahead.
The
It's always a Bernie thing.
It was 47%. If I read the graph correctly, 47% for presidential voting in the last election.
Yeah.
And then, the graph goes up through the years. Generally, it goes up and down, but generally the graph. So there was in the years in the.
Are you saying voter engagement is getting better in the U.S.?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm actually surprised on that. I thought it was higher. So I was thinking it was higher. So I was thinking, well, that means there's more there's so many people that don't understand politics or don't understand how things are, how the government's so corrupt. But I guess by saying even at 47%, before the years before it was like 40, then 35, and then 32.
Yeah, I don't think that's the only indicator or a direct correlation. And I don't think people need to understand exactly how corrupt our government is and the mechanics of it to realize, hey, man, this shit's fucked up. It ain't fair. It ain't equal. And my vote ain't going to do nothing.
It's a strange thing. The people that I've run across in my life, I didn't count, but it feels like I've met more people that keep on saying, yeah, the political system works. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And to me, I run into these people. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't see that way.
How would you possibly say that? Yeah. How would you possibly say that this system is working?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've run into a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, how about, maybe you guys answer the question. Out of your friends, out of the people that you ran through your life, do you feel that they feel the political system is working?
Working is different than is it rigged and unequal, and
Yeah.
is it a scam?
Well, I think it's working perfectly. It's working as designed. It's just not doing what they say it's there to do.
Okay, so let me rephrase. Okay, I feel like the friends that I have that I've ran into through my life, they would say that the political system is beneficial for our country and it's working as intended for the better of our country.
No, I can't. I definitely can't go along. Are you asking, is it that way, or how can they say it's that way?
I was originally the friends that I ran. So I was originally asking what your guys' history of friends.
Yeah, I mean, I don't typically go polling everybody, but
those conversations seem to come up from time to time. So.
Yeah, so I mean, if I had to guess, I'd say most of the people I know would not tell you that this is a great, fair, equal, honest system.
No. Yeah. Well, and there again, it goes again back to they're right until they're not.
Yeah.
Even the people on the alt-right realize that it's bad. It's just they blame George Soros and a team and say that everyone's lizard people pedophiles instead of saying the problem is actually money in politics.
Wait. I don't support lizard people pedophiles, though.
we'll be talking to you later.
I'm anti
Joe, any thoughts on the topic?
anti-lizard.
So I guess my train of thought is, I feel like I ran into a lot of people that think the system's morally okay or something, and that the system's working fine. Joe, any thoughts?
I think that your average person, as long as they have clean water every day and electricity, and I just don't think that people actually care.
That's
really
the
don't.
trap. I'm pissed off about all this, except for I live such a great life.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's what it is. People would care a lot more if they couldn't get food, or they didn't have power, or they didn't have running water. But
I've been lucky to travel around the world to many countries, and this is such a terrible, shitty place, except for every other place you can go to. Like,
yeah,
I've been to beautiful places like Costa Rica and Thailand, and like, am I picking up and moving there? Like, no. I mean, it sounds nice, but I don't do it. So I've been to Australia. That's pretty cool. Like, there's some beautiful places out there. I've been to tropical islands. I've been to resort towns, and it's like, I'm still living here. So there must be something here that is causing me to choose this.
It's where you're from.
What's that?
It's where you're from. It's where you're from. You're from here, and so you would come back to here.
No, I was born in Chicago, grew up in San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're from America.
But I'm not from Las Vegas.
Okay.
So I have no problem picking up and moving to a different place.
Yeah.
It's,
but it's still America, though.
Yeah. But I'm saying I'm choosing America as the best city to move to, right? The best place to move to.
Right.
I don't see a better place than Las Vegas for me to live.
It's the devil you know, I think is what it is. Because I have this similar. I'm not pointing any fingers at you. I have a similar thing. If given the opportunity to move to somewhere like New Zealand, would I? Probably, but I there would be a little bit of wondering, like shouldn't I, something like that. Or if I was able to move to like Western European country, some Scandinavian country or whatever, would I? Probably, but there would be some I don't know, because I'm used to here.
Yeah, right? I visited Amsterdam, Denmark, Hamburg, and Munich with the lens of, man, is this the socialist heaven? Is this where you get free college and you get free healthcare, and is it awesome here? Is everybody happy riding their bicycles around? And it looked like a pretty happy place. But they didn't have any Ford Raptors on the streets. So I think, me personally, there's a Wild West. I mean, you're talking about a guy that moved to Las Vegas. So somebody that's attracted to the wilder side of life, or the more interesting, or the being able to go eat at 3 a.m. anywhere you like. That is really cool. I like that a lot. Yeah. No, I like things being open, but as far as like the wilder things, I did that in my 20s and 30s. I'm done. I'm good. Yeah. I'm done. Yeah. do you do this or that? No, I already did it. I'm good. So
let's kind of so you're the Ford Raptor thing. So I think that maybe encompasses America as such a great country, but yet then it has such. So the Ford Raptor is a great vehicle, but on the other side of America, there's some things that are very wrong, whether it be the politicians. The fact that there's still slavery right now in America is what I was going to say. Yeah.
You're going to have to justify that statement. You've said it twice now.
Oh, if you are a felon and you go to jail, they can compel you to work and you don't get paid for it, or you get paid very little.
Yeah. So
workers who don't get paid is typically that's slavery with more steps.
In principle, I would say that if you are not playing along by the rules of the game, then you cannot expect the protections of the game. That if you become such an anti-establishment felon, if you commit a crime that is so heinous, then what protection are you asking for?
So heinous as stealing something that was worth $20? Like, because there are people in prison right now due to 3 strikes that are having that happen to them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't really see how that's worthy of losing your ability to not be a slave.
Yeah, you're right. I think that is terrible. Sorry, I was trying to go the other way. It didn't work.
Yeah. No, you're real good at devil's advocate, man. You're really good at that. I'm serious.
Yeah.
But,
Well,
yeah.
I would step back from that and say, yeah, I would definitely support all kinds of prison reform and changing our prison system to much more rehabilitative instead of punitive. I would love to see a wholesale change and improvement in all of our justice system, our farcical justice system, where more money is more justice.
So if America's so great and then has these big problems, like what type of, for the four of us, where do we see the near future, or is there anything is there any change that we can do on a podcast?
No.
We need 11 million people to listen to this podcast and go
There you
change
go.
the social studies book to include political education.
I mean, to do that, you would need to be I think a person on the board of education in Texas, I think, is who writes the school books.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. Like, because Texas orders so many school books,
Yeah.
whatever Texas, it's kind of like how California kind of sets the standard for car emissions.
Yeah.
Texas does the same thing with school books.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just
go ahead.
So it's just weird to me that America seems like such a great country, and then we have some glaring issues. It's like,
well, I think
polar sides.
I think you might be onto something, though, that it is such a complex system that every year we add more laws and rules and complications, and nothing gets simpler, nothing gets erased, nothing gets solved, nothing gets reset, nothing gets clean slate. You just layer on problems on top of problems, and it just, when does the machine clog up and break? It's not running
damn
smooth.
near did.
Yeah.
It almost did. Back a year ago. I'm not talking about January the 6th, but I guess that'd be 2 years ago now, actually. But it almost did. I mean, the streets were empty. You remember that?
Are you talking about initial lockdown?
Initial lockdown, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It damn near did tip over. I thought, I was kind of like, oh man, we might actually do something here.
Well, this is why I'm surprised nobody supported me on cleaning up wet markets. It was such a massive problem, and we found the source.
Yeah.
The source of one time
previous
Yeah.
previous COVIDs came, like MERS and previous SARS. Those came out. Avian bird flu, AIDS from monkey butts. These are all like, keep it clean with the animals and the food, and you won't have this much crossover virus problem. It's figured that part out. It's not the whole problem, but there's a source for these viruses that mutate into humans, and it's keeping those kind of things clean.
Just by the way, just as I was looked this up because I was like, I wanted to know which amendment it was.
Monkey
it's
butts.
the 13th Amendment
That
allows slavery.
wet markets.
No, it allows slavery.
Oh, 13th Amendment allows, or no,
It abolishes slavery and involuntary servitude except as punishment for a crime.
Oh, those guys are getting punished. So it's by the letter of the law then, right?
Yeah.
Well, but then I forget. Is there what cruel and unusual punishment? Is that?
I don't know if that's in the
I don't know.
amendment or if that's Bill of Rights.
I think Bill of Rights. But then could slavery? So was it Victoria's Secret? They actually
I don't
had
know where this is going, but I
Victoria's
like
Secret. They actually had prisons in America producing, I forget, certain parts on.
the
material.
5 pennies for $20.
There's certain material that they were preparing, and then so Victoria's Secret was able to get low cost labor. I might be fucking up the story, but I hope I'm correct on this.
I'm imagining these gruff prisoners making like lacy thong ass panties.
If that's not a boner killer, I don't know what is. That's
I don't remember what piece of the bra or panties, or maybe it was a t-shirt. Maybe it was a t-shirt. I don't know. But they were doing low cost labor, and Victoria's Secret was gaining from this because they're selling the product for an expensive price, getting cheap labor. So going into kind of the slavery thing, it's almost cruel and unusual.
That's the Eighth Amendment. Eighth Amendment is what that is. Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. That's the Eighth Amendment. Oh,
Eighth Amendment. None shall be made to make lacy panties in a federal prison.
Oh, man.
I mean, is that a major problem too, where we privatize prisons and so you have money corrupting our punitive system?
Yep.
Oh, that's definitely a problem. Absolutely. But we there's no way to solve that one until you solve the money in politics. Any problem
Yeah.
that we bring up, the schools can't solve that until you get money out of politics.
Right.
You know, on down the line. Yeah. Until you get that out of the mix, we're going to have these problems.
So how do we do that without revolution? How do we get money out of politics?
We keep showing up and we keep putting the right people in that are going to do that. And if they don't, if a politician doesn't, if you have a Kirsten Sinema or you have a Joe Manchin that's standing in front of getting things done and standing in the way of getting things moved further in the direction that we want, then you run a primary challenger against them and get them the hell out of there.
But you're playing in a rigged game. How can you win?
AOC's there.
Did she sneak in?
Well,
I think she caught them sleeping is what happened.
I just heard something. I just read it recently, and I don't know enough about it. So
Okay.
I am morally for AOC. I think what she stands for, what she does, it seems from what the things that I've read, things I've heard from her, I think that they're awesome. But then some comments online, they were saying she's showing her true colors with the recent actions. I didn't read into the article, so
Where did she fuck up recently?
Did you hear anything?
Actions, I don't.
But I something about some corporations came in and had her.
She took some money.
That's what ultimately is the accusation. I didn't dig into. I should have. I'm sorry for any of you guys heard anything about this.
I don't follow politics.
Okay, this was it was very recent because these people were saying these. I was on Reddit and they're like, "Wow, this is a change for AOC. This is very, very recent." So hopefully,
let me do just a modicum of looking this up here. Some blog revealed her truth. She doesn't want.
Joe about to say something?
No, Joe. What's your thoughts on AOC?
I like her. I think that I don't necessarily agree with everything she says, but I like that she's kind of like Bernie. I like that she sticks to her guns and that she, she says what she thinks, and she doesn't really seem like somebody that can really be pushed around. I mean, she's one of the few non-wealthy people to be elected to a position. Because I mean, that's the thing too, is like regardless of like money in politics, your average working person can't take a year off to go campaigning and try to raise support and do all of that. You know, you have bills to pay, you have stuff to do, you have a family to take care of.
I got Rolls Royces to take care of.
Yeah. So it's pretty impressive that
Raptors.
she was able to run essentially a grassroots campaign and get elected to the U.S. House of Representatives when, let's be honest, she was pretty broke before that,
Yeah. Bartender in New York, yeah.
Yeah, and she literally just hit the pavement and, just drummed up support. And like Pong said, she definitely caught them asleep.
What do you think about AOC, Emmett?
I don't know anything about it.
Okay.
So
I don't follow. I don't watch the rigged games. It's like football. If you knew that the game was rigged, would you watch it?
Well, no. Well, in this sense, I think AOC, Bernie Sanders, Andrew Yang, in my opinion, those are candidates or people that seem to.
Those are the three non-corrupt candidates.
That's what it feels like to me. So I follow the I try to follow the non-corrupt candidates.
Does Tulsi Gabbard fall into that?
From the little that I know, I think so. Yes.
Okay.
But okay. All right. What did you? What did you find out about AOC, Pong?
I haven't seen a damn thing about her.
Yeah.
I think
Quit trying to smear her.
No, I was just.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. No, I'm just something that I saw and I was like, oh no, I hope AOC's not going corporate, but we'll see. We'll see how things roll out in the near future.
I don't think she would. She knows how she got her seat, and everybody that helped get the old guy out of there. He was the fourth most powerful Democrat, period, that she took out of that seat.
Did you guys
that
see?
seat is so solidly blue that she ain't leaving ever.
Did you guys see the guy that beat Yang for the New York mayor?
Eric Adams.
Oh God!
I saw some article that like a week after he was in office, he appointed his brother as like head of the police commission or something, like a high-paying $250,000 a year job. And then his brother was so ineptly unqualified. Like his previous job was like parking attendant at a college. Like he had zero qualification to become police commissioner or whatever the appointed position was. But it's so funny that it's such brazen and blatant, monkey business. That once you're in power, like, just go ahead and do what you want. Like, there's no It's not, all you have to do is buy your next election. So
Yeah.
it's crazy.
You know, and I think that people expect a little bit of corruption.
A little bit.
A little bit of corruption. I think people do expect that. I really do.
Well, that doesn't point to a populace that believes this is a fair and just, equal, good political system.
Well, no.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that they take that as part of the deal. But the problem is, and the reason that I think that anyone cares is because they're not holding up their end of that bargain. They're not providing for the people's material conditions, right? If they were doing that and getting themselves a Maserati or a boat or whatever, you know, like if they were taking care of people and doing that stuff, it's like, oh, well, yeah, have at it. You're a senator. Yeah, that's great. Fine. Yeah, go for it. You know, if there weren't people living in poverty, and you know, again, picking on Joe Manchin because F that guy. But you know, again, you know, if you want to own a Maserati and have a houseboat, God bless, go forward. But you can't do that and at the same time keep everyone in West Virginia in abject poverty and completely refuse any opportunities that they may have to turn towards solar or wind or making batteries or whatever, doing anything to move manufacturing into the States, as opposed to just hanging on to coal like it's going to matter in 20 years.
Well, clean coal. I agree with you.
I'm on to you now. Like that would have triggered me like at the beginning of the show, but I'm on to you now.
No, I think what you're saying, it speaks directly to something that I say often, is that the squeeze is starting to get too hard. Right?
It is.
You squeeze the people and get a little bit more out of them every year.
Yeah, and it's becoming enough. Like our productivity, if you look at a map of the productivity of the average U.S. worker, it's just do, and somewhere in around 1980, strangely, is when it stopped, when the wages increase stopped tracking that, and it just went, you know, yeah. So wages stay stagnant while productivity increases. And that's where Bezos gets the billions from, you know, billions. Like, you know, when billions, what is it, 160 something billion, or has he hit 200 yet?
He's at 200.
He's at 200,
or maybe that was Musk. I don't know.
Did you see Musk freaking crying about, oh, you know, I paid $1 billion in taxes last year. That is less than 100th of the money that you have.
Yeah.
I definitely paid more.
I would separate Musk from Bezos in that Bezos seems to be fixated on accumulating wealth to no end. Musk seems to be he seems to be fixated on, you know, world-changing technologies and flying to Mars and making electric cars. Like, he seems fixated on making those things work, not on the accumulation of money to the detriment of others. Yeah. Like, he's literally worth that much because he owns a lot of stock in his companies that he built up to do these world-changing things, right? Are you against electric cars?
No.
Are you against cheaper access to space? Are you against a spacefaring population?
I think we should, but it should be the government that is doing it, not a private person.
Here's what happened to the space industry prior to the introduction of SpaceX.
Okay.
We had the first men on the moon, and we had a aerospace industry dominated by defense contractors.
Yes.
Who specialized in milking as much money as possible out of the U.S. government, not in getting anything done in space.
Yes.
So we ended up with a space shuttle program that cost some ungodly $1 billion per launch in like 1970 and 1980 dollars.
Right.
So it's a money milking program. Yes. And then when we ended the space shuttle program, we had nothing to replace it with. We have a couple of companies using old Russian rocket designs, flying super expensive, super rare rockets into space. And it costs you an ungodly amount of money to get something into space. And then, so what are we doing? We're buying rides from the Russians to get U.S. astronauts into space because we don't have a way to send astronauts into space on our own. So until SpaceX comes along, we have a faltering, incompetent, useless space program getting nothing done at incredible cost.
Yes.
And so SpaceX comes along and puts the U.S. back on top of the world in space capability through capitalism, making it a highly effective, very affordable way to put things into space. I as a patriot American, I fucking love SpaceX. It's fantastic. The day you saw 2 rocket boosters land in tandem, God damn it, that's the fucking future we've been waiting for, is this amazing shit. Sorry, I got excited.
No, that's all good. I'm mulling it over.
I'm sure SpaceX pays taxes as well as any other corporation.
It's almost in correlation with that polar America's so great and then so fucked up. Like SpaceX, NASA before, so great, so fucked up, and then so great.
Yeah, and I don't blame NASA. NASA is a pretty science-oriented.
Yeah.
But they were dependent on this whole defense contractor industry.
Yep.
You could name off a dozen companies: Boeing, Northrop Grumman, United Launch Alliance, which is a combination of Boeing and Northrop Grumman. So it's all insanity. It's all a money-milking machine of how many billions of dollars, and they were all on cost-plus contracts, right? How much does it cost to make this rocket? I don't know, maybe $50 million, and then you could pay us more if it costs more than that. How long is it going to take? I don't know. We'll see when we get there. So right now, SpaceX has recently launched astronauts into space, right? They put astronauts onto the space station.
Right.
We brought that capability back to the U.S. Alongside that was the Boeing Starliner system and the NASA SLS super launch rocket. All of those programs, like history, have gone way over budget and way over time and way over cost and totally failed to get anywhere while sucking up billions.
So
that's why I like Elon better than Dick Rocket Bezos.
The Dick Rocket Bezos. So I hear what you're saying. I see where you're coming from on it.
Yeah.
I think what the difference is here is you and I both see NASA wasn't getting it. NASA, that ain't it, Chief. But I think where we're differing is what you're saying is therefore let's privatize it and now it's going to run better.
No, I'm saying we should do that. I'm saying thank Jesus this dude came along and fucking showed them all how to do it. He ran circles around everybody.
Thank God that it did become privatized, essentially.
Whatever we had was not working.
It is.
Yeah.
What we had wasn't working. I'll go along with you on that. But I do disagree that finally we disagree. But I do disagree that Elon is the way, the truth, and the light for going to space. It worked, yes. There's nothing that says that the government can't do that as well, but we're not set up to do that. We're set up to funnel money to these defense contractors. So
I don't like that.
I don't either. So I get what you're saying, and I sort of kind of agree, but I hate to do it. kind of like when I buy anything from Amazon, it's like I really need this tomorrow, but
I don't know if I could reword it to make you swallow it better.
Go ahead.
I don't even think it's actually swallowing it.
Can you sugarcoat the pill, please?
I think
right.
I think the wording that you heard from Emmett is the way. Let me word it where I think it would work for both of you. Emmett's just saying that in this fucked up capitalist government system that we got going on, things didn't work out with NASA and the contractors leeching money out of the system. The system. So at least we have something moving it forward in America, which is Elon Musk. I think that's what Emmett's just saying. He's just saying, I think he's just saying, as long as we have something American pushing space exploration forward, I think that's what you're saying.
Yeah, thank God we like immigrants. Guess
You're
where
not
that dude started, right?
You're not wrong.
I'm gonna go again.
Won't someone think of the poor immigrants whose father owned a diamond mine? Come on.
Hey, if somebody said, "Hey, I'm gonna give you any electric car you want. What electric car do you want to show up at your door tomorrow?"
So any that I want, period.
Yeah, you got a free electric car.
I can wave my magic wand and I have it appear.
Yeah. Hey, you just want a free electric car. Which one do you want?
Oh well, okay. So if it's one that's in production right now,
yeah, it has to be a real car. Yeah.
Oh, it has to. Okay, it has to be a real car. I want the Maverick Hybrid Actually, no. What I want is a Maverick all electric. But if it's what's in production now, a Maverick hybrid, the Lariat trim with all the fixings.
Maverick is the small Ford pickup truck.
Yes.
Okay, hybrid is not electric. Hybrid is still gas powered.
It's part electric. So okay, if I have to, it has to be all electric. I would want I'd want an electric. Okay, in production, let's keep it. There is a company. Okay, here we go. If I have to, well, no, but that's not electric. Damn it.
So in the U.S., we have this gigantic auto industry that pays lobbyists to go to Washington, and it's all in cahoots with a giant oil industry, the oil that powers all of America and combustion engines, and they buy all the politicians, and all the laws are there to rig it so that oil companies make billions of dollars. If you wanted a high performing stock, go buy Exxon because you'll make a dickload of money on oil. So America was so trapped and embedded in oil and gas engines and cars and the auto industry. It is so American to drive a big ass fucking Cadillac or a giant pickup truck like I do. I get 14 fucking miles a gallon on a good day if I keep my foot out.
Have you seen the electric Hummer?
Yes, that's my point, is that Elon Musk comes along and says, I want to make electric cars. He doesn't just make electric cars. He says, I want to make fucking amazing electric cars at a big enough scale to push Americans into accepting the electric cars of the future. And he has changed the entire auto industry that was against electric cars. GM killed its own EV1, right? So this whole industry has pivoted because Tesla came along and showed them, look, Americans are happy to drive electric cars if you don't make them look too stupid. If you make a cool enough car and put a big fucking screen in the dash, people are going to want it. Make it like a cell phone. They want that shit, right?
You're not wrong.
Here's an electric car. Now we have entire auto manufacturers like Volvo and I think GM and a handful of other auto manufacturers have committed, look, we get it now. We're going to go electric.
Yes.
Right? You're talking about the Dodge Challenger is a badass muscle car, gas-eating, street tire destroying machine.
Mm-hmm.
We got to make an electric Challenger now, right? Next year.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me there is one coming. I wouldn't surprise
it's coming.
me at all.
Yeah, it's coming.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, next year you're going to see electric Ford pickup trucks. And if the Ford pickup truck is the number one vehicle sold in America, period.
Yep.
So Tesla is there because of Elon Musk, and Tesla has changed the auto industry and changed America. Even if Tesla went out of business tomorrow, if it disappeared off the face of the earth tomorrow, it has changed the course of America and the U.S. auto industry towards electrification.
A reasonable man could not disagree with that statement.
So I would separate Elon Musk from other billionaires in that, yeah, he has the most money, but he's doing some fucking amazing shit that we need. Do you like solar power?
I do.
Do you like a roof that costs the same as a regular roof that also provides solar power for your house?
Yes.
He's working on it.
I know. I saw that a long time ago.
Yeah.
But okay, so all these things are true.
Yes.
Okay. But at the same time, if you're doing it on the backs of your workers, you're making them work 80-hour weeks and all this crap. Like, he pushes his people real hard.
But he also works there at the factory with them.
Sure he does. And even if he does, he's not getting the same share of money as everybody on the floor is.
You're right. I would love Elon Musk more if one day he goes, you know what? I'm going to reward all the people that work for me, and they're going to be the highest paid people.
There you go.
Right.
Then I got no problem.
Okay.
But when you've got someone that's Bezosing it up, every bit as bad as Bezos is.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you want better pay for Elon Musk's company employees?
Which I mean, in a way, kind of brings us back full circle because that's why I'm much more social democrat than I am communist.
Yeah, my argument against that was not a strong one, but I would say the thing we have to be careful about is if you look at people who work at defense contractors, they make a ton of money. Working for a defense contractor, that's a great gig. You're going to get a fat salary, you get stock options, you get 401k, you get all this time off, you're going to get extra pay, and you're going to get a pension. Where can you find a fucking pension anymore? Defense-
not very common.
Yeah, so defense contractors, employees get paid very well.
Yes.
And those companies are not putting us on Mars. They're not taking us to the moon. They're not putting rockets into space the way SpaceX does, right?
Well,
So-
and I think the reason for that is a lot of senators looked at the space problem as the space program rather as just that, as just keeping people in good paying jobs.
Yeah.
As just being a job provider. Look at I brought good quality jobs to my district.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
I think the minute that our space program fails and we don't have a way to put things into
that was
space,
embarrassing.
yeah, that's criminal.
So embarrassing.
You have now stolen too much money from the American taxpayer.
Not a single person went to jail.
That's correct. Yeah. So I'm all for Future Musk. The counter argument to treating your employees really well would be American auto unions. How well is Detroit doing with its high-paid union workers?
Florida's not doing so bad. Detroit's not nearly as bad as it was at certain points.
Yeah, the point
I
at
don't
which they
think-
made American manufacturing too expensive to compete, so that all those people getting paid $80 an hour to install a seat in a car lost their job because the factory disappeared overseas, right? So there's a point at which you pay people too much, and it makes it too expensive to keep them employed. You can
Why is
see
it
it in the
too
unions
much?
in Vegas. In the unions in Vegas, bartenders make an ungodly amount of money. I used to do it.
Good.
Right? Great. Until it gets too expensive to have this schlub standing here being angry about making drinks. Like, hey, there's a robot machine that can do the same drinks. Right?
Yeah,
Why
but
not
it's not the
replace
same.
these pissed off schlubs that want sick time and they want vacation time and they show up and
Wow.
complain and they get injured. Right?
See, you should have said this an hour ago. Because we can have a conversation about this one. Here's the thing. Here's the news on this. Anybody that comes to me telling me about the robots at McDonald's or whatever, okay, here's the deal. As soon as the millisecond that the public will accept those robots, I don't care if those people at McDonald's are making $2 an hour. I don't care. As soon as those robots become able to output the same as a person and are publicly accepted by people that will continue to go to McDonald's and get a hamburger made by a robot, as the millisecond that happens, they are going to replace the workers.
Yeah,
It
I
is
would
going
go
to
to a
happen.
robot McDonald's tomorrow.
I mean, all they need is several million more people that feel the same way, and it's on. And they are going to replace people.
I would
That's
go to
going to
robot
happen.
McDonald's tomorrow because it won't fuck up my order.
You say that. robots do mess up, but but I guess where I'm going with all this is I don't put any stock into that argument because because businesses are most certainly going to cut costs wherever they can, and the best place that they're going to be able to cut costs is the workers. So it's gonna happen.
Are you saying union wages did not destroy Detroit?
Yes. I'm not saying why would I say union wages destroyed Detroit?
It got too expensive to have all these millions of people working in these factories.
Okay.
Detroit is
all those
Motor
people
City,
that-
right? Detroit is where
Yes.
GM and Ford
Sure.
and
Right.
our major auto manufacturers come from, right?
Yeah. Okay, so we should pay those people less. Who's going to buy the cars?
And those people ask me to buy the car.
If we pay those people, a nickel and a dime, if we pay them minimum wage,
Oh,
who's
yeah.
going to be able to afford an $80,000
Okay,
truck?
I'm not saying that we shouldn't pay people well. I'm saying there's a point at which it's too expensive, and it further incentivizes evaporating those jobs.
Those jobs are going to go away regardless.
Oh, okay.
It's going to happen. As soon as they can put a robot there to do that job, they're going to put a robot there and do that job. I think the unions are one of the few things that are standing in the way of that. And I don't know. I'm not enough of an accelerationist to say that they shouldn't on that.
Yeah.
On that one,
So I've worked in the bartenders union in Vegas, and
Okay.
it's good because it makes high wages.
Okay.
It's bad because it makes a slacker workforce that is overcompensated. There's no excellence in the job. There's no, like, these people could not run a space program. These people can barely show up and make a margarita. And they'll complain about that and call out sick and lie about doctor's notices and get something called FMLA so they don't have to show up for work. And they'll complain like it's the worst fucking job on earth when they're making close to six figures.
Okay, so it used to be that you could work just about any job and be able to afford a house. And a lot of times in ye olden days, the wife didn't even have to work. The husband could just go to the job at the factory and come home and take care. The wife would take care of the house and the kids, and the father would come home and blah blah blah. Right.
Yes.
The problem is that in order to do that today, you need to be earning that kind of money. In order to have the same kind of life that we had back then, you have to be able to make that kind of money somewhere.
We can't because the money keeps getting squeezed to the top. It gets siphoned off and stolen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is why it's good that there are unions to say, no, you're going to pay us. Yeah. And people taking personal time, I have no problem about that at all. Bartenders making $100,000. Have you seen the kind of bullshit that they have to deal with right these days, especially?
Yeah, I did it for 8 years.
People coming in, huh?
I did it for 8 years.
Did you do it in the middle of the pandemic?
Yeah, I came back to work in June. Okay. It was fucking terrible.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that is a hard job, and this whole like unskilled labor. I guarantee you, if I went in and tried to be a bartender for a night, it would be a crisis.
You would be better than half the bartenders I know in the union. You'd be solidly in the middle, Mr. Pong.
Thanks.
You'd be a pretty good bartender.
Yeah? All right. Well, hooray.
No, on that compliment, I'm going to jump into the final question section.
Oh, final questions. All right. Ask me the questions.
First question. If I told you to put $500 in cryptocurrency, what questions or thoughts come to mind?
Told you, I mean, the first question would be which one?
Was he anti-crypto in the last?
I don't remember.
I kind of was. I think you had asked me what my opinion was, and I said something to the effect of it's really smart people's way of getting money out of people that think they're really smart.
Aha.
So, and I don't know that I fully believe that. I think that's just something pithy, I guess, to say, but because there is something to it, it just seems like it's something that it's like anime. It's something that I would probably like. It's something that I would probably. It's something that I would probably like if it weren't for the fan base. Because a lot of the people that are into it in the weirdest way. Yeah.
You should have a in-depth conversation with me about the technology of blockchain. Maybe it won't. I think I'm more into what it can do, and not. I don't think I'm. I'm a little bit sci-fi-ish, a little bit crazy on that, but I don't look at the price, and I'm not trying to meme coin something. I think the decentralization is an amazing technology that we humans have never had anything like it before. So this is a paradigm shift. So I think we should. I
You're
hope.
not wrong.
Was that?
You're not wrong. Go ahead.
I'll say this about cryptocurrencies, that the millennial generation that we are hoping will be better voters and better political activists and better politicians. I agree. I have hope that they're a more conscientious generation and that they care more. They seem to care more about people. Maybe they're a little too soft, but whatever. Better too caring than too much of an asshole. Yeah. So that same generation has no problem with crypto. They say, hey, you know what? I love doing shit on my phone. I got a Venmo. I got a Zelle. I can WhatsApp. I can Cash App. I got a Twitter. I sign up for new shit all the time. I got a Robinhood. What's cryptocurrency? Don't care. Let's use it. Let's go. You want to pay me in crypto? Sure.
You're not wrong.
So the next generation coming up, to them, there's nothing alien about that idea because everything's new to them, right? If you explain to them central banks, well, that's new. Okay, that's how it works. Cool.
Right? The alienness isn't what gives me pause. It's that we're spending money to solve. We're spending money. We're converting money into math problems, and we're using a whole lot of energy to do it. But is that really wrong? I don't know. I'm somewhere in the middle actually on crypto. Honestly.
The energy consumption is going to come down. They're working on it.
And on top of that, with a lot of solar power going on, I think Bitcoin is. I think depending on what parameters you're looking at, it is a green mining process now, because there's so many countries that have pushed for solar power, and therefore so many people put their mining servers through solar power. So it's actually a green thing now. Yeah, it depends on what perspective you're looking at, what metrics you're looking at. So it's pretty interesting that it's going more green already.
Yeah, I would say that the cryptocurrency world is aware of the power consumption, and they are actually addressing it. There's changes coming down the line. That's been a problem since day one, and it's.
I'll tell you what, I will fully absolve all sins if you just let me have a goddamn graphics card. just let me get a 3080, please. Please, can I get or 2080? I'll take a 2080.
Yeah.
All right, next question.
Anyway,
what can you not live without, excluding the obvious: food, water, health?
What can't you live without?
Yeah, what can't you live without?
I would have to say, can't is really strong.
Yeah,
I wouldn't enjoy.
Yep, there you go.
Living without the internet.
Okay, great. Yeah, I think my wife and I talk about where do we want to eventually retire, and I just tell her, I don't care if it's a small shack somewhere, as long as it's got internet, I'm okay.
And that's true.
So then you're already more tied to a metaverse than.
To some extent, yeah. I think that so much of the fun that I have connecting with people, playing video games, watching movies, streaming movies, watching YouTube, it's kind of all the internet.
I gotta tell you guys, it is really cool being a Gen Xer. Because when back in my day, when I wanted to play a video game, God, I sound old.
Yeah,
when I wanted to play a video game, no, a cassette tape in my Commodore VIC-20. Yes, I put a cassette tape in, went and mowed the lawn, came back, and then by then my game was almost loaded. And to go through that, and then the internet, and console gaming, and now this, where we're at right now with crypto, like you're saying, we've got private people that are just launching rockets because they can, like it is a really cool time to be alive.
Yeah,
like it is really neat right now. There's some crazy bad stuff too.
Yeah.
But on the whole, there's a lot that's good.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
That's a Steven Pinker's story right there.
All right, what next question. This is a weird question, but try to stick with me. Around what age did you see yourself the most mature? What personality changes were there? What were the factors that caused these changes?
This is the day he swore off anime.
Octopus anime.
Tentacles.
I've never sworn off that. No, seriously though. Joke's on you. I'm into. No, I'm not. At what age did I see myself the most mature?
And what caused it?
I would actually have to say right now. Because
I'm glad you didn't backslide.
There was a time. I would have to say right now, because I'm in a position where the decisions that I'm going to make in my day job are going to, actually in my day job and doing the live stream, the things that I say here, I got to watch what I say, because that does reflect poorly on an entire makerspace, So it kind of has forced me to. In addition to that, the past year of, before the past year, I would just yell at people nonstop on the internet. I'm like, I'm going to make my point, ha ha ha. But then on the other side, they really don't care. And I finally realized that this week, this year.
Wait, you stopped typing in all caps with exclamation marks?
No, I never did that. But I definitely stopped writing novels, because no one's going to freaking read it. What am I doing?
Are you saying when Joe matures, he's going to stop trolling the right side?
Hey, if you're having fun doing it, God bless, go forward, right? But at the end of the day, you do got to realize that you are not going to get through to. You might get through to one or two people, and maybe that is enough. I don't know. But for me, for my personal, my zen, my whatever, it wasn't right for me. It was just too much stress.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's just me. So I do feel like right now is when I was the most mature, because I've got a lot of things that I have to make sure that I keep in mind as I'm being on the internet.
I sometimes think about, so what I'm saying on the internet, how it will affect me. Like the moment when I started talking about that I smoke weed and smoked weed on, I think on the air. Yeah, I did on one.
Oh, you smoke weed?
So then I had to think about my future jobs and whatnot. Like if I go apply for a future job somewhere, are they going to watch that video and then judge me for smoking marijuana online? So now that made me think about the maturity, as in, I don't know if I want to call it maturity or not. Is it more moral to be able to say what you think and always have good intentions? Or is it better and more mature to just hold back certain things when you know society and or certain people don't accept it? So I don't know. I don't really have an answer for that. It's just things I think about.
I don't mind taking that one on if you don't.
Go for it. Yeah.
Okay. I would say
Well, it's too late. You can't lie
the
now.
second that the second one is better. Watching what you say, because it's not so much watching what you say because you worry about the ramifications to yourself. It's watching what you say because you become aware that what you're saying has an effect on other people. Growing up in the 90s, I'm ashamed to say that the word that starts with F for gay people came out of my mouth a lot in the 90s. And then I realized the harm that I was doing. Like, I grew up in gay clubs for the most part, right? Because that was the only place in St. Louis in the 90s where you were going to hear dance music. So it's like, yeah, that's where you go to hear that music. I'm not a part of that world, but that's where I go to hear the music, right? And what? Okay. And so, like, I know what I am, but so I go, so I would go there to, I would go there for the music, and so I thought that got me invited to the cookout, as they say. I thought that got me, that I had the immunity idol because, some of my best friends, blah, blah, blah. But what I didn't realize is that when people that are in that group hear someone who's not in that group throwing that word around like it's nothing, it has an effect on them, and that sucks. And I'm not, and people, well, I didn't mean for it to be that, I'm not trying to do that, yada, yada, yada. Okay, great. You didn't know. I didn't know, but now you know. So knock it off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'll back you up in that, in the 80s, I was a kid in the 80s, and it was very common.
Yes.
Hey, it was a very,
I don't know if I have to blur that on YouTube, actually, because
You might.
it's such a bad word now.
I think YouTube has like I don't know if it's 4 words or it's like 4 or 6 words that you just can't say.
Yeah.
That's probably one of them.
Yeah, I think it is one of them.
I agree that it's not a good word. It seems crazy that it's so.
Yeah.
It's that bad.
Yeah.
It seems crazy to us because when we were growing up, we didn't care or didn't know, or however you want to put it.
But like you, I did grow up and mature to a point where I thought, well, that's not a good word. I don't need to ever use that word. The closest would be as a joke, where it's clearly inappropriate. It's clearly no offense, clearly not an attack, clearly not to belittle somebody. When it's clearly not. But I mean, maybe that's still not good. But
it gets, yeah.
So,
Like there was a
but yeah, that and another, several other words, but the N word, sure, those words I have totally erased from my vocabulary, in that there's almost never a situation where I'm going to use that word. There's no good. There's no good from it. Yeah.
Our nephew came to visit us when he was, I want to say, like 10, something like that, and it flew out of his mouth, the F word in question, and we were like, I damn near swerved and stopped the car. I was like, okay, hold on, that is not acceptable. We can't have that. If you want to say fuck, shit, motherfucker, whatever, I don't care, any other word. That word, no. Yeah, I'm not gonna have you like talking shit on an entire group of people, like in no, that's not okay. He's like, wait, so I can say fuck? I'm like, Yeah, you can say fuck all you want. Have at it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, it was like Christmas. He was like, oh, yeah, well, forget that other word. I'm going to say fuck.
Yeah.
So,
Wait, how did we go to there from smoking weed?
Maturity, talking about smoking weed and talking about that F word.
Oh, yeah, you were saying, is it better to say what you think? Is it more moral to say what you think than, or to edit it, basically?
Is it better to speak off your mind and speak what you think, and or to try to be mature and hold back what you're thinking? Which I see, there's a bit of me where if someone's holding back too much, then they're not being truly who they want to be. So I think there needs to be a blend of also thinking about what you're saying. And
I was just about to say, I think the answer is actually both. Because you can say what you want to say without disparaging an entire group of people.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't trying to call anybody that.
I don't think
just trying to smoke weed.
All right, let's get on to the next question. Next question.
I think smoking weed is going to be less and less important as we age up.
I would see it as either living entirely by your principles or realizing you're in a game that you know has rules and consequences. And you go, hey, you know what? I'm going to stop at the stop sign even when there's nobody around because I know there could be a cop that'll bust me. You go, you know what? In principle, I should be able to roll right through because I can see there's no cars around. There's no
difference
danger.
I think the difference in our viewpoint
Yeah.
is you're stopping because there may be a cop there,
Yeah.
and I'm stopping because there may be a kid there.
No, but I can clearly see there's nothing around for a mile. I could be on a country road in the middle of nowhere, right? Yeah.
But do you get the metaphor though?
Yeah.
You're stopping because you might get in trouble.
Yeah.
I'm stopping because what I'm saying may imperil others or make them feel less of a person.
Yeah, I think that's applicable to the word that you're talking about, and I'm applying more to the not smoking weed on the internet podcast.
Got it.
But I would agree with both. I think they're both.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
All right, next question.
I'm going to run over the stop sign.
You have to pay for that, you know that?
Only if they catch me.
Yeah, okay. Because I was in a car accident and the car rolled into a merge or a whatever, a wooden post, and it had the sign. And on the bill later, I had to pay for that.
Oh, they give you a bill for the exit sign?
Yeah, the exit sign.
Was the accident your fault?
The accident, my something in the back suspension broke, and so I mean it's by the paper. It's my fault on the paper.
Oh wow!
So
what did they charge you for the freeway sign?
I think it was I want to say it was 200 something.
That sounds very reasonable.
Well, back
that is actually
15 years ago though.
Yeah, even if you adjusted for inflation.
Yeah.
I mean, we were poor back then.
Yeah. All right, next question. What keeps you up at night? What thoughts do you often ponder about?
A crappy pillow.
Politics.
No, not anymore. It used to. When I finally stopped caring, is when it not about politics. I still care about politics, but when I stopped being like, oh, if only I could make people understand on Facebook, then then everything would be fine.
It's the maturity line.
To the maturity line. Lately, let's see, what keeps me up at night? Not much, honestly. Yeah. I mean, it
probably ties in. Maybe you're earlier when you're saying whether it be space programs, how many awesome things, blockchain, cryptocurrency, all the awesome things that are happening. This is a good time to be alive. So maybe there's not a lot to worry about.
I do worry. Well, actually, you know what? Now that you mention it, there is something that does worry me.
Problems.
Yeah. No. Now I got some problems now because I am super concerned that in their quest for like unity or partisanship or whatever, that the Democrats are going to hand the whole fandango back to the Republican side.
Oh, see, politics.
Which is politics. Yeah. But and it's not like the Democrats are doing it. Well, I guess that's my beef. Is that the Democrats are doing such a terrible job that they're going to give it to someone who's going to do an even worse job, but be very effective at it, and be very effective at doing a bad job, as opposed to the people that are ineffective at doing a good job.
Got it. Next question. What inspires you?
Teaching people. At work, I have a lot of opportunities to be able to show people how to do things, and it's really cool to empower other people to do stuff that they didn't think that they could do. And it's really neat. Or even not necessarily that they didn't think that they could do, but just stuff that they didn't know before.
Well, now are we supposed to
I really
ask you
like that.
What you're doing? What your job is?
No.
Okay.
but what I do is data analytics, and it's just SQL queries and Tableau and stuff like that. That's what I do.
Gotcha.
But even when it comes to people looking for help with their stream or their live stream or just random stuff like that, I do like being able to share what I've learned with others. So that is one thing that I do like. Being able to communicate with the world, being able to have a place to hang out online is really fun. Like being able to do the show and stuff is just a hoot.
But dude, if you teach everybody how to do your job, you're going to be out of a job.
Nah. I'll do some other job. It's okay.
All right. Final question. What's the best vacation you've been on?
Most of 2020. No. Yeah, it was kind of weird. Like for an introvert like me, you have to stay home all day. Can do. I was training through this all through the 90s. I'm good at that. I was a latchkey kid. I can do this. No, so seriously though, what was my best vacation? It would have to be my wedding. We got married in Hawaii. And we got married on Honolulu. We had our honeymoon in Maui, and the whole freaking thing was beautiful. And I started I finally married the person that I've been with now for 21 years. Wow. And yeah. So no, it was freaking great. I absolutely loved it. I mean, how can I say anything other than that? It was the best. And plus, when I went to Dominican Republic, I got a serious case of the.
You got a serious what?
So a serious case of I accidentally drank the water, and so yeah, that one just rocketed down to the bottom. Yeah.
I'll add on one of my favorite memories in Hawaii was, I think it was called Diamond Head.
Yeah.
When I got to the top and was looking down, the coloration looked exactly like a postcard, where it's that blue, super blue water, green mountain that I was on. It was so bright that I was like, holy shit, this looks like in a postcard. So that was one of my favorite moments.
Isn't that by Paella? It's like, how there's the two, you're talking Maui, right?
No.
The Diamond Head's on
Oahu.
Yeah.
I didn't go to Oahu at all, I don't think.
Did you go to that shrimp truck on the North Shore?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Wait, is Honolulu on? My geography is just taking a beating tonight. Wait,
I thought paella was Spanish fried rice.
It probably is, but it's also a small city on the island of Maui. But
maybe we should end on this confusing note.
Aloha.
I want to see what island Honolulu's on now.
Hello, bitches.
You got a cup?
Oahu. Oh, yes, there it is. It is on Oahu. Okay, we were on the North Shore as well. Anyway,
okay.
Anyway, cheers.
Cheers. Thank you, gentlemen. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you.